Our new partner who I'm really, really excited to announce we are working with. Super, super stoked. Thank you, Angie Huberman, for this connect. It's incredible. AG1 Athletic Greens. I've been using them for a while. I have them every morning on an empty stomach. Basically, take 1 scoop and you put it into a cup or glass or mug of 8 ounces of cold water. And this is all your greens for the day. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Every day I take this. It's so good for my digestion, my energy. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like taking a lot of vitamins. This has been really, really helpful for me. I've had a lot of stomach issues my whole life, and ever since I've been gluten-free and taking the AG1s, it's really helped me in my stomach in the mornings. I love it, and I'm so psyched that they're part of the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm sure a lot of people don't like eating greens, let alone drinking your greens, but I can tell you straight up, it's got a mild tropical taste, and the taste is actually really refreshing, and I really look forward to it each morning. Don't think it's just going to be just straight bland. It tastes really, really good, and it's good for you, so remember that. This one blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's incredible, just 1 scoop, especially for musicians who are vegans or just musicians in general who want to get those daily greens. You can get the packets. It's incredible. I just gave some to my friend Derek from Sepultura. He traveled the whole entire world this summer, and he had those every single day. He said it saved him. I bring AG1s with me when I travel. It helps me stay healthy. You know the deal. If you're on tour and you are a picky eater, but you need to have your greens, sometimes catering doesn't have greens. Sometimes you miss the catering. Sometimes you miss the backstage food. Sometimes it's too late after the show to go get food that you like. So if you just have a scoop of AG1s in your hotel room before you go to bed, or you're in the hotel room at night and you're starving, you want something healthy, boom, life changer. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with some convenient daily nutrition. That's all you need, 1 scoop in a cup every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. This is it. I'm super psyched. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/OLLC to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. This is incredible. I love it. It's just basic greens. For me personally, this has changed my life tremendously. I'm not a junk food vegan. I don't eat a lot of fake meats, so I'm strictly greens. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful new addition to my life. So once again, visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. and get 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. athleticgreens.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. And if you want to get water, Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for merchandise and other things that's not water, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Caruana. Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very special guest, my friend Vinny Caruana, which I just told him 3 minutes ago. I always know him as Vinny the Movielife or Vinny Movielife. Thanks for being here. Caruana.
Back in the day, you used to call me Vin to Life.
That's right, I did. Oh, shit, I did. Caruana. That's a pretty sick last name. What is that? What are you? What's your deal?
My dad's Sicilian. And but apparently the name is more Maltese than Sicilian. Yeah.
Interesting. So you born and raised in Long Island?
Born and raised North Merrick, Long Island, South Shore, Nassau County. Dad's from South Brooklyn. Mom's from Westbury, Long Island.
Nice. And you have siblings?
I got 2 older brothers.
Are they into the same thing you are? Same kind of music, same life?
A little bit.
Oh, the older brothers?
They're the reason we're sitting here right now.
I was going to say that they got you into it probably. Same for me.
Yeah. Both of my brothers found hardcore in probably 91.
Okay.
And that's when I was 12, and that was me going to my first shows.
At 12?
Yeah.
Damn, at 91. Okay. Trying to think.
These were friendly shows, though. Like, it was literally just...
In Long Island?
Yeah, my first show ever was in Elmont, which I think it's right on the Queens border.
Okay.
I think it's Long Island, though. VOD.
Which nobody mentions. It was underrated, incredible band.
I mean, I feel like they might come up a bunch today because they're like kind of... My brothers and VOD are the reason, like, my life took this path.
Okay. I mean, VOD, I mean, they were like... I remember when they first came out, man. Just, I don't know, in the PWAC days and all that stuff. Like,
They were sick from, like, their first show ever.
Yeah.
Super heavy. Nobody was singing like that. They had really good riffs.
Yeah.
They kind of like exploded. When their first record came out, like the Green Splash one or whatever, that one, I mean, I remember being at PWAC for that, and there was like, I don't even know, as many people as you could fit in there, which is a lot. Is
it safe to say they were like one of the biggest hardcore bands from Long Island?
Yeah, if you think about, let's see, Long Island hardcore from the beginning, I mean...
Silent Majority, Cleanser.
Yeah, but Silent Majority was definitely probably the most influential to, like, my generation.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as getting around the world and having fans everywhere, VOD was, like, touring Japan, Australia, South America, Europe.
Yeah.
I don't know if Silent Majority
right?
ever...
Roadrunner Records?
Yeah, Roadrunner.
Huge.
Yeah. I feel like they're the ones that went the furthest until maybe, like, my generation where... Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Glass Job, Movielife, Crime in Stereo.
Oh, yeah. Kill Your Idols was another one.
Dude, Kill Your Idols doesn't get mentioned enough.
Incredible band.
Yeah, they took us on one of our first tours, Movielife.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great band, man. So Long Island's always had like a good scene and its own scene, too. You think that it's all New York and everybody goes back and forth to Manhattan, but it's kind of a long drive for people, too, especially young kids.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to Manhattan for shows, but I don't think that many city kids were coming out to Long Island.
Yeah.
Lou would come from Staten Island to come to shows. Yeah. They would be always like, and some Queens guys would come.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would go. I would try to go to the shows in the city as much as I could, but they were coming to us quite a bit.
Yeah. Do you remember your first show in the city? You're probably super young too, huh?
First show. That's the thing. Like the first few years, like I would only go to shows on Long Island that like my brother.
Yeah, you're young, man.
That like VOD was playing or my brother's band. I saw H2O for the first time, I think, with my older brother's band.
Really?
I don't know if you would remember
was his
this.
Band? Yeah.
They were called the Warped Weeble Wobbles.
I have to remember that name.
They were like a beloved Long Island band.
Okay.
You know, contemporaries of Silent Majority, Mind Over Matter, VOD, Neglect.
Oh, yeah,
and
Neglect.
That's a band I always have to bring up. I think they were like my favorite growing up.
One of the kids in jail was wearing a Neglect shirt the other day. I could throw up. I was like, wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
I think it's coming back around to where like Neglect is going to be like headlining like Blood Axe Festival in Japan and shit. I think it's going to come back around to that. Like younger kids are finding out about this insane band.
It's so cool that they actually care. Like a lot of the new bands, how they're like hardcore historians and they look into the roots of everything, and it's really cool, man.
That was, I'm sure that was you, right?
Totally.
That was me too. Like,
yeah,
it was almost taught to us that like you got to know Minor Threat, you got to know Black Flag, and then Sick of It All.
Yeah,
and that was the one. My brother BJ, who you met in Pittsburgh the other day.
Yes.
My brother BJ was just like, Blood, Sweat, No Tears. Best record ever made right here. Let's see. That came out in 89.
Yeah.
So I probably heard it in 91 for the first time.
It's so crazy, like getting into that music and you're from Long Island and then not far away is where Ramones, Sick of It All, these bands that like, they're like local bands, you know what I mean, in a sense. But they're also
You never think that like there's like shows happening Like when I figured out that there was people moshing like a mile away, like right now at the Right Track Inn.
Right Track Inn, wow.
Yeah, that was where we would go to shows a lot.
Okay.
I mean, Long Island had a lot of DIY type venues and
totally
VFW halls and all that, but like
played some.
And PWAC, of course, but like Right Track Inn in my early Long Island hardcore days was like the spot. And it was really close. That's in Freeport. I'm from Merrick. It's one town over.
Okay.
So our parents felt okay dropping us off there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, since your older brothers are taking you, your parents are totally cool with it, right? Like, they know you're safe.
Yeah, and I remember a few shows. I actually remember my brother, like, denying me entry to a Neglect show and just being like, Mom, I don't think you should go to this one. And he was probably right, but, like, they need their space sometimes. They're probably, like, trying to talk to girls and stuff.
Yeah, they want to get in the pit and have to worry about watching you when you're safe or not, you know?
Yeah. Once I made some friends that were into it, or some of my friends with me got into it.
Yeah.
At least I had someone to talk to in between bands and stuff.
Were the kids at school, like, because you were so young, were the kids at school into punk and stuff? With this alternative life that you went to every weekend, like, because it's such a different world. So
I was in junior high when I first started going to shows. There was like, it wasn't like punk. It was like Nirvana had just hit.
That's right.
And like, so it was like this alternative thing, like you said. Like, people were listening to Nirvana. The like cool indie chicks were listening to the Pixies. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff was going on. But like, the people I was hanging out with were into alternative music. Maybe not hardcore, maybe not punk, but like, I mean, Nirvana was a punk band before they were.
Looking back on it now, being like so hardcore and punk back then, my blinders on, like, fuck this grunge shit. Later on, you realize how incredible it is and was.
I totally had the blinders too.
Do you know what I mean?
I was for some reason I was too cool when I was 12 to like Nirvana. And
12's young.
I think I got it from my brothers or something. Like, I wanted to be cool. I wanted
punk
to
only,
like
hardcore only, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was not like, I didn't want to I resisted Nirvana and Pearl Jam and things like that because like that's what the football team was listening to. Like that's what like normal people were wearing. And I'm, you know what I mean? This is the mind of a 12-year-old, you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Then you go back and be like, okay, you can listen to Nirvana and literally start like 50 bands. You know what I mean? Like
totally
super influential stuff. But I dug deeper on that stuff. Like Nirvana, like I said, I had the blinders on like you, and I thought I thought it had to be cool and not like, you know, Green Day, Nirvana, stuff like
on
that.
The radio and stuff, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I wanted like when you would see like someone at the mall, like we're talking Long Island wise, like or on the street or at school that is wearing like a hardcore band t-shirt, and you go up and talk to him.
100%.
Like, you know about the thing? Like, yeah.
It's like a secret society.
Yeah.
Like you definitely have something in common right away.
Yeah, I love
but
that.
Fast forward to now, you really can't be sure about that. If you see somebody sure, you're not sure. Like the other day, some guy was walking down running wearing a Union 13 shirt, who I loved on Epitaph.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, great band, I love your shirt. He looked at the shirt, he looked at me, and he's like, he didn't know what to do. So as I'm walking away with my friend, I'm like, maybe that's just a shirt that he got at a thrift store. I don't know if he knew what it was I was talking about.
Yeah.
So it's hard nowadays to realize if you see somebody, but they want like a Fugazi shirt or something, and you're like, okay, they're one of us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Some obscure, not really obscure, but so
enough to make you do a double take and look at their shirt and be like, should I tell them cool shirt or not?
Yeah. So how were you growing up in school and stuff like that?
Growing up, not studious, athletic. I played soccer and ice hockey.
Nice.
Quit ice hockey and pursued soccer because I was given a choice. My mom and dad were driving 3 boys around playing soccer and ice hockey.
Dang, that's a lot.
So soccer was my thing.
Soccer.
So yeah, that was like my double life, was like soccer and then hardcore shows.
Nice. Did you want to be a soccer player? Like,
I don't know. Like I liked it. I don't know if I didn't have any aspirations as a kid at all.
Okay.
I get asked questions in interviews a lot, and sometimes maybe I'll stretch it a little bit. When I was young, I wasn't like, I want to be a soccer player, I want to be a singer, I want to be a businessman. I didn't care about anything. I just existed, hang out with my friends, go to shows, kick it.
Did you skateboard?
No skating. Soccer wasn't cool with soccer. Yeah.
Wow.
Soccer, skating was perilous for soccer players for sure, injury wise.
Okay. So was that soccer like practice every day, games on the weekend, like
practice? Yeah. Like the school team practices 5 days a week.
Damn.
And then the club team, which was the more serious thing.
Yeah.
This is like our parents paying for like a European.
I did it with my son too.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not just the dude's dad down the block, like
traveling,
coaching,
all that stuff. Yeah. It's a commitment.
So that I loved it. I was good at it. Up until the pandemic, I played on 2 teams in the city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And now I'm in the worst shape of my life, and I'm trying to get back.
So when you what was your goals? So no goals when you graduated.
My dad asked me what I wanted to do. I said I have no idea. He's like, "You're going to college?" I was like, "Okay."
Was he strict?
Like, I don't think we had really strict parents. I mean, they were definitely more strict than some of my other friends' parents. Yeah. But like, you know, they wanted us to do well in school. Totally. They had 3 boys that didn't care about school. None of us did well in school.
Same. 3 boys. My mom, same. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
hated school.
Absolutely hated school. It's one of my favorite things about being an adult is not going to school. I still think about it sometimes, like on a Monday. Like if I have a quiet Monday and everyone's running around, I'm just like, at least I'm not in school. That nightmare, the school nightmare about like, you know, showing up for a test and not having studied or whatever it is, like school nightmares that you have, little clips. Mm-hmm. I like having those because when I wake up, I'm like, oh, no.
Damn, you really hated it, huh?
I hated it. I didn't have a terrible time either. It was just the school part.
And your grades were good?
They were like okay, like maybe like a C+ or something.
Okay.
Not good, but pretty good for the amount of studying I did though.
Yeah. Were you like a popular kid? Were you a quiet kid? Were you like?
I think I was kind of in the middle. I was friends with everybody. My school was very peaceful.
Okay.
Like there wasn't much animosity between people, and people were generally. Cliques, you mean? Yeah, I guess it was a little cliquey, but like I was friends with like some of the dudes on the football team, and I was friends with some of the dudes and ladies in the drama club and stuff. Like I kind of lingered in there because I was kind of an alternative listening, leaning person, getting into music, getting into all types of punk and hardcore and indie and all this stuff. And then I was playing sports like 6 days a week. You know?
I love that because not many people that are heavily into punk and hardcore also play sports. That was also, maybe it's a generation before, like, fuck sports, fuck all that. Like,
right.
7 Seconds had the song, fuck sports. But it's cool you did that too. And were you like, were you partying and stuff?
No, I was straight edge from like, 13 to like 23.
Wow.
I was straight edge for like 10 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's probably a good time to be too.
Oh, I don't think I would have graduated high school if I was also like getting stoned and shit.
Were you like the only one that was like you? That young, 13 is crazy.
All my buddies that I grew up with, who I'm still tight with now, like a main group of dudes, none of them are straight edge. None of them were. I just existed as that guy in the gang that like
that's cool.
Did and drank.
Yeah.
And that was totally due to hardcore and all that stuff. Getting into, looking at some of the older kids, like what are they doing? Like some of my brother's friends and stuff were straight edge, and I just, it was cool for me to learn about it, and then I got into Minor Threat, and then you get into like
Gorilla Biscuits,
Youth of Today, Judge, and it's just like it was appealing as a young kid, and I think it was really cool that I was straight edge for all that time. I think that was really, really good for me.
Yeah, like your adolescent, your growing years, going through school, all that peer pressure, all that different shit, right?
Yeah, and I didn't feel like there was no point during that decade of being straight edge where I was like, felt
pressured or nothing.
No, and I didn't feel pressured, but I also didn't feel like I wanted to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, which was fine.
Yeah. And your brothers weren't either, just their friends.
My brothers weren't straight edge. It was same. 2 dudes. Most of their friends weren't. There was like 2 or 3 of their friends were.
Yeah.
And those guys, I was like just interested in what that was, and yeah, you're young, something to be a part of, and it was, and a lot of the guys I grew up with, like all the friends we made in hardcore, like the guys my age, because I was all the VOD dudes and all those guys were like 4 or 5 years older than us.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of, I don't know, we were just like young, figuring it out kind of thing. I'm really glad I was straight edge for 10 years for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't try anything until you're 23.
I was a little dirtbag when I was like right before I was like, I'm straight edge.
Oh,
I
before
was like,
that?
Yeah, like
even that young? Wow. Okay.
It's funny. I had like, this is when like in junior high school is when the Dr. Dre like Nothing But a G Thing video came out.
Yes.
When the refrigerator opens and it's just completely filled with Frosty 40s.
Yes.
I remember being a little kid being like, I'm gonna have to try one of those. I'm gonna have to hold one.
Directly influenced. Wow.
So I drank my first real beer. I was probably 12, and it was in like on Long Island, like the mayor. There's no mayor because it's not like there's mayors of the cities on Long Island. We don't need to get into any of that. The county executive.
Yeah.
Which is like the mayor of the county, I guess. The president of the county. His kids were like party people, and we went to school with all of them. So one of his kids bought me my first 40, and I remember going to a party in junior high school, drinking like very little of it, excusing myself to go pee in the bushes and pouring most of it out.
Wow.
Because I was like, this is insane.
Yeah, those are huge, 40.
I hate the way this tastes, and how the hell am I going to drink this whole thing? And I weigh 75 pounds.
And it looked cool in the video, at least.
Yeah, I wish we... Well, no.
That's
I was just about to say, I wish we had pictures of me with my first 40, but I'm glad that we didn't have cell phones and shit when I was a kid.
So that was like your first and pretty much last attempt at a 40 ounce, probably. It's a lot to drink.
I've had a 40 since, actually.
Okay, so yeah.
It's
like a big
40s
gulp,
aren't
man.
like... 40s are not practical. They get warm. You know what I mean? You have to drink it really fast to enjoy a 40.
And it's pretty huge, too.
Yeah. It was really just a symbol of like growing up, we were just like, this thing looks cool because this is what they were drinking in Boys in the Hood and in
That's
like
amazing.
Dre videos. Yeah.
So you graduate,
and
what's your goals at that point? Nothing yet?
So I graduated from high school. My plan is to play soccer for the college I was going to.
Which is?
SUNY Farmingdale.
SUNY, yeah, okay.
I went there for business because my dad like gunned to my head, like, what do I got? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
He didn't have a gun to my head, but I was in the hot seat and I was just like, own a restaurant. He goes, cool, go to school for business. So I go to school for business and it's like all math classes.
Wow.
I barely graduated high school because of math.
I hate math too.
So
never good at math.
That summer, I'm getting ready to go to college, and Glassjaw's playing in a basement out east, and I would sing a song with them because one of their songs from their earlier releases, like lesser known release, had like two vocals that like overlap the whole time.
Gotcha.
So I would sing it sometimes if I was around with Daryl because we were buddies, and Eddie Reyes from Taking Back Sunday watched me do that, and then he asked me to join this new band that he was starting. And I knew him as Eddie from Clockwise.
Clockwise, that's
which
right.
is like another band that doesn't get mentioned enough. Everyone loved Clockwise back then. And that was a big deal for me. I knew Eddie's bands and shit. Like, yeah. So it was like a life-changing thing. Mm-hmm. Not that I thought it was at the time. Yeah. But yeah, like ever since then, I've been like, touring and making records.
And so you weren't singing in no bands before that?
No, I like never even thought about it.
Wow.
Never even thought about being in a band. I just liked hanging out and being part of the scene. I don't know why. Yeah. I was not an ambitious kid.
But he saw that in you though, which is amazing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really sing. And he's like, you do. Like,
you just did.
Yeah, yeah. So that band ended up becoming Movielife. The Movielife, which is my first band, yeah. High school, in 9th grade, I played drums in a band that had a few songs that never played a show and only got together just to make noise and have fun, so I don't really count that. And I don't play the drums.
And you don't play the drums ever since then, really?
I mean, I can play now a bit, but back then I couldn't move my foot and my hands at the same time. Like I don't count it. So,
are you working a job then when the movie life starts?
Oh yeah, I started working when I was like 13 or 14 in a batting range.
Nice.
Yeah. So I worked, and they had a day camp there. So I worked in the same place from like 13 or 14 to like into the movie life days. When I would get home from tour, I would still work there.
Wow.
I probably worked there till I was 13 to like 21.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good job. Go back and forth too.
Yeah. They let me go do my thing. But yeah, I've been working. I started working pretty young.
So movie life's what, like 97?
97 started, yeah.
How old are you then?
97. So when I was 17.
Wow.
Like this. Yeah. What it started this summer. So I didn't turn 18 until I started college because I'm a September baby.
Yeah.
So I was 17 when the band started.
Damn, that's so cool.
Unless I'm tripping.
That makes sense.
Gotta be. Yeah, 17.
I think that's cool starting bands in your teen. I wish I started H2. I started H2 when I was 26. It's so fucking late, man.
Yeah, but you had been hanging around all the right people learning.
Yeah, taking notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, 17. Fuck, that's so young. But then you think about all the bands now that are so young, touring right now, killing it. There's so many young bands like at that age in their teens.
I know.
I think about my son, like he's 19. If he started a band at 17, I'm going to start a band and go on tour. I'd be cool with it for sure, but it was just like, it just seems so young, but
I know.
Cool. And you never recorded.
It is.
You never recorded anything before, none of that, right?
No,
nothing.
My first time recording was 1997 with Mike Sapone, who ended up making all the brand new records and all, a bunch of big stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first time.
So the first record, it's Go Time, right? That's 99?
Yeah, and we did the demos before that, how the demo game works.
You have to have the demo, yeah.
So we did 2 rounds of demos on cassettes and toured on those and stuff. And
toured on the demos?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 98, first tour, in a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Damn. No internet, no YouTube, no, just like touring.
Maybe MapQuest? Maybe MapQuest. Probably MapQuest.
We had those books in the van.
The Atlas, the Road Atlas.
So, is Movie Life, like when your first couple shows, are you creating like a following and a buzz before your first album?
We were friends with everybody on Long Island, so that's helpful. Everybody would come and support. Our first show had a bunch of people at it because everyone wanted to support their friends.
Totally.
I would say it probably took like a year before we started seeing it and people sing along, and then maybe another year after that, where people that we didn't recognize singing along.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the word was spreading.
Yeah, for sure. Long Island shows started getting pretty good, and we started doing weekends and all that stuff. Yeah.
And who came up with the name?
Me and Daryl. I don't know which one of us. We had this like fake band in his bedroom too when we were growing up.
Nice.
And we called it the Movielife.
Okay.
And we didn't do anything with it. When I joined Eddie's new band, I remember being like, "Can I use the Movielife? We're not using it." And then I took it. Yeah.
Perfect, man.
I don't know who coined the phrase. I'm gonna say me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a big movie person too?
I like movies a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Okay, so that comes out, and you guys are when it's Go Time comes out, you guys just nonstop touring for that record.
Nonstop.
Who put that out?
It's called Fade Away Records.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Mike Dubin. He's an old school Long Island head.
Yeah.
Friends with everybody, knows everybody. You've run into him.
Sure.
Him and our other friend Dave Cohen started a record label, and Movielife was like ready to be a real band at the same time.
Perfect.
And we went nuts, toured as much as we possibly could. So it's Go Time. We were out with. That was that Kill Your Idols tour.
Perfect.
Toured a lot on our own. Trading shows with people, doing whatever.
For the listeners, what's trading shows mean?
Oh, like, hey, come to Long Island. We'll headline a show. There'll be hundreds of kids there. But if you don't mind us passing through West Virginia, putting us on before you.
So cool.
So that your friends don't leave.
Yeah.
And then
I love that, man.
Also, if you don't mind if we all sleep over your house.
Yeah. I love that whole community and all that stuff. That's way before like the internet stuff. They're just having friends and people in different cities and towns, and they put you on the bill, or jump up, play a couple songs.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful thing, the scene we come from like that, you know?
Yeah, it is. And hopefully everybody's learning that way still.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is out there. It just to be a young person in general is probably nuts. But like to be, touring wise, I mean, I feel like if you get a bunch of Instagram followers, you might have a better chance at like, you know what I mean?
Even just promoting a show, put a flyer up on Instagram. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about going out, handing them out, putting records, all that stuff's so different.
Yeah, be creative about it and like make it go viral somehow. Yeah. Being with your young person knowledge. Not saying it's not as hard as it was for us starting bands, but the hustle and bustle of it seems to be way less with social media and with online stuff and all that stuff. Seems so much easier to promote things. It's crazy. But back then it's like you said, word of mouth. Or hearing about bands from thank you list, or what T-shirt they're wearing on the back of the record, all that stuff. Finding about bands, discovering them. It was such a beautiful thing, like discovering bands, and Yeah, the first thank you list we ever got to make was like a huge milestone. I was like, I've been waiting my whole life for this, and I can't wait to shout everybody out. Yeah, no, and you can't miss one person. No, because you'll never hear the end of it. Yeah, yeah. We used to go through our shit like crazy for months, back and forth, double checking everything, man, because it was such a big deal. Yeah, yeah, and I mean that was fun. That was really part of it. Was just as fun. Oh yeah, I would read them all. Other bands, or like see who they shouted out, or what shirt they're wearing, or just a message. Sometimes like this is what we stand for, kind of thing. Like whoa, okay, yeah, shit, all the art and all that cool stuff with making records. Yeah. I love all that shit. I still love it so much. So it's go time, and then this time next year is 2000. So at that point, you guys are on a different level by the time that one comes out, the second one? Yeah, that was like a full-time thing for you. You still working in between? Definitely, so going back to the batting range, okay. Yeah, so 2000, I was 20, 21. So 2000, I would have been... And you still Edge at that point, too? I was still Edge, yep. Right around the time I got my straight edge tattoo that I still have. Wow. Nice. And yeah, game changer for sure. I mean, we worked really hard and toured a lot, and also bugged every label that we could about coming to see us or whatever. Okay. You had you have a manager at that point? I don't know. No, not yet. Super DIY, yeah. Love that shit. So there's one little step that's important. So Deep Elm put us on the Emo Diaries compilation. Do you remember those? Yeah, I remember Deep Elm. Yeah. Deep Elm put up one of our songs Texas? On there. Oh, where is that Deep? Where is it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they were from. Okay. They put you on emo? They got us on the Emo Diaries compilation. That's a big compilations deal. Are okay. Yeah, they were huge back then. And that's when the A&R at the time, who's still a dear friend of mine, Jason Upright, reached out from Revelation, and we were like, wow. Whoa. This isn't going to happen. That's cool. Get that Rev R in your shit. It's cool. I remember I almost got like our like Rev star with the number in the star. Wow. I like almost got that tattooed on me like that week. Damn. It was really important to all of us. It was a huge achievement, much more than we ever thought would happen for our band when we started. Yeah. Yeah, we were on Revelation Records. Amazing, man. A Long Island band on Rev, which was sick. Was that like the first one? Probably the first one. I don't want to like. Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe some obscure shit way back in the 80s was from Long Island. Or a few of those dudes from some of those old New York bands were Long Island dudes. Yeah. But this is like certainly one of the first Long Island bands on Rev. Cool. Yeah. That's amazing, man. Yeah, very special. That's really exciting. Right around that time, we start like getting bigger tours. Toured with Newfound Glory right when they were popping off. Wow. It was Glass Job, Movielife, Newfound Glory, and Autopilot Off was the tour. Off. Shout out to Autopilot Off. Also, Newfound Glory, man, who took us as well out. They took so many bands out, looked out for so many up and coming bands, and really helped all of us. For real, man. They like. I remember the Newfound Glory show. We did really well. We were like, oh, we do well with this kind of crowd. I remember that being the first time, like at the end of that tour, the first time we got like a few $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the tour, like we split a little bit of money up and was like, holy shit. Because up until then, we were paying to be in the band. We would pay band dues into a box.
Wow.
To like pay for the van payments and all that.
Everybody's
shit.
Working too. Oh,
yeah. Wow. So.
Yeah, Newfound Glory audience was super open-minded. Those young kids
cool.
were so psyched. Yeah, and if Newfound Glory thought it was cool to bring you, then they were just stoked to see you. Yeah, it's great.
And they were like real peeps who were like involved with the scene.
Yes.
Already knew some of my friends on Long Island just from being hardcore kids. You know what I mean? That was a game-changing thing. Like we could go back to those cities the next time and have like a good show. It was that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
A lot of the Newfound Glory fans, right at the beginning when they popped off, playing 500 to 1,000 seaters.
Yeah.
They like they like knew Green Day and Newfound Glory, maybe.
Yeah.
So anything else that came across their nose that Newfound Glory was vouching for,
totally,
like, they were just down. So Movielife did really well. Goldfinger, another band that was super supportive.
Shout out to Feldy.
They took us out a lot.
That's awesome.
H2O could say the same thing. We ended up playing a lot of shows together.
Right. We did.
Yeah, dude. In another lifetime, for real. Like,
yeah.
I was, I don't know, maybe 22.
And we played, right?
When we played together, 21, 22.
Yeah. But I love that what you just said a few minutes ago is really important for the listeners. Like back then, it's like if you came through a town with Newfound Glory or the Boss Tones or whoever you tour with at the time.
Boss Tones, another one.
Yeah. And then the best case scenario is you have a great show, you get some new people that like your band, and then when you come through, you don't wait too long to come back, and you come through within like a year, and then hopefully those same kids will come check you out on a headlining tour. And if that happens, that means that connection was real. It's such a beautiful thing, and that's what you want. That's why I love playing to like not just a hardcore crowd. People give a shit for touring with bands like Newfound Glory, the Boss Tones, but for us, it's like you can only preach to the converted for so long. It's like I'd rather get the message out to everybody, and I like the challenge of winning over a crowd. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially back then. I had more energy for it back then.
Impatient. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's like only not just like once again just stay in the hardcore bubble, play the hardcore shows. No, I want to go open for the Boss Tones tour, put us on the map, Newfound Glory, all those bands, man. Even Sum 41 but people got so bummed that we did that. I'm like, why? It's you should be happy for the band. We're trying to, I don't know, get our message out there. You know?
I know, man. And we maybe in a slightly different way, but like we were doing only hardcore tours basically because that's the world we lived in. But we weren't playing hardcore music really.
Yeah.
So like.
But that's good because you stood out on the bill, which is great.
Yeah, and back then it did work. It seems to be working again now, which is cool
100%.
To see.
Full circle, yeah.
But like we made a conscious effort to play. Like, let's not play all hardcore shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
that's when we kind of like we like got a new booking agent and things like that. Like we started to get very ambitious, and not like we want to be rock stars, but just like, oh, I like touring. Let's keep touring.
Yeah.
Let's keep making records. Let's keep growing as musicians. This is fun.
Yeah.
You know?
When you guys got bigger, were there some haters too?
I'm sure.
That was kind of before the message. Maybe the message boards were kicking off then.
Even the Rev board, dude. I remember when we signed to Rev, the Rev board was not nice to Movielife. They were like, what is this? But some people were like, no, this is cool. Like, I listen to Lifetime, not just Earth Crisis, so I can relate to this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I love the diversity of Revelation for sure. You know, it's funny, like the boards, it's like, we're talking about message boards like they kind of meant something back then, like maybe they hurt your feelings a little bit, but it's not even a real place. It's just like the internet. It's basically
like a more depraved Twitter, if it could be that way.
That was like the beginning of the end.
It's pre-Twitter, right?
Like, pre-Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, message boards started kicking in, and hardcore. Oh man,
say whatever the fuck you want.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It kind of hurt me. It was sad. There was some whatever, but it's just the internet. Now it's like way different what the internet is and all that kind of stuff. But back then it was just like, really, there's like this board where people can't show their face. You don't know who they are, and they're just saying dumb shit about your band.
Yeah, and on those message boards, it would just be like, I mean, you can still do that now, right? Like have a like a burner account or whatever.
Yeah.
Back then, it was just like some stupid X something else X on the rev board saying like terrible things about the Movielife.
And did you ever let that stuff bother you? Reviews or comments like that?
I'm sure, yeah. In the beginning, as a young kid, like I can't tell you how much I don't read now. I don't read. The only things I read are like.
I love that.
I like. I'm in touch with the people who follow me on social media, and they could reach out to me if they want. I'm pretty accessible.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the only stuff I read is like
messages,
or real discourse and a conversation back and forth with people that are interested in things that I'm doing.
Back and forth with people, like
yeah, sometimes I can't like do all of them, but like I try to be like, oh shit, this person went out of their way to like tell me how much this shit means to them. Totally. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
I'll definitely respond to those.
That's the shit I like reading what people are into, and I like knowing what of what I'm doing is resonating. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, those old Rev boards, that and then that whole time right there, going back to Rev.
Yeah.
Drive-Thru Records was knocking on the door.
Popping.
Like they've been knocking on the door, and we were keeping it very real. We were just like, we're good. We're good where we are.
Were they a subsidiary of something?
MCA.
Yes.
That was Newfound.
Yep.
Midtown.
RX Bandits. It was so
RX Bandits. So our contemporaries were like Midtown, Newfound Glory. The Starting Line had just started. Finch had just started. Something Corporate had just started. RX Bandits were popping. Yeah, those kind of, that was like our contemporaries.
And that was the label though, Drive-Thru, I remember, for a long time.
Dude.
Man.
Our fan base, like,
it was everything.
Before anybody even saw us, they were like, oh, this is my new favorite band because Drive-Thru signed them, and that like people just trusted them so much to deliver
like the
what
Fats
they
and the
wanted.
Epitaphs back in the day.
Exactly, dude. Yeah.
Those compilations, all that stuff was so important, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Drive-Thru, another pivotal fork in the road. Reach the Sky and Movielife, driving across the country to meet Bane.
Wow, what a sick tour.
In Seattle.
Yes.
So we have a van rack in the Dakotas, and like it was over. It was over. Yeah, vans trashed, trailers trashed, gears trashed.
Are you guys trashed?
We got so lucky, man.
Holy crap.
Brandon like broke his wrist or something.
Yep.
Phil had a big cut across his nose. There was some blood and some stitches and some broken bones, but nothing quite like how bad it could have been.
Wow.
But it was, we lost all our stuff. This van we had paid for with all the band dues that we'd been paying to be in the band. So we retreated home. We never, to this day, have never played with Bane. At that Pittsburgh show, did you see Zach?
Yeah.
He was driving.
Yeah, he's with somebody, right? Yeah.
I went up to him and I was like, what's up? I'm Vinny, man. We've never met. I was supposed to meet. We were supposed to tour together. And first there was this weird like curse where we never, not even a festival, played with Bane.
Wow.
So I went and said hello, and like, you know, really nice guy.
You watched that incredible documentary, man.
Oh, so sick.
I was bawling. Yeah, it's amazing, dude.
Yeah, really important band.
Yes.
Righteous band too.
Yes.
When we get home, van's out of business, trailer's busted, we need new guitars, like a lot of shit broke. We went back to Drive-Thru and we're like, all right, well, what do you... We're listening.
What's the offer? Yeah.
And the offer was like nothing we had ever seen before.
Yeah.
And our ambition met that. Like we knew that we wanted to keep going. We wanted to keep going up.
That's the next level, man.
And we knew the resources they had, so we were like, yeah, like we need a new van, we need a new trailer, we need new gear, we need money to like buy peanut butter and jelly.
Basically, yeah.
Money to eat.
Was Rev just a one record deal?
No, Drive-Thru had to buy out the contract.
Okay.
So they were happy too.
It's a big thing back then.
Like,
yeah.
And Rev got to keep the record.
Cool.
To this day.
That's awesome.
So Rev did well with the record because it ended up doing pretty well. And Drive Thru, you know, got us after that. And Rev got some, probably a good amount of money from Drive Thru, if I remember correctly.
That's awesome. What year would that be?
2001?
2001, yeah.
Something like that? 2001,
yeah.
2002.
It's funny you say that. One time our trailer got stolen in Jersey City with all of our gear in it. And Epitaph bought us a brand new trailer and brand new gear.
Were you already on the label?
Yeah, and labels would do cool things like that back then. It was amazing, man. They actually cared. That was crazy, man.
They were selling records too. People were buying records back then.
Oh yeah, 100%. So now you're on Drive Thru. Is that like a major label deal in a sense? I guess
it was like a mini major deal.
Yeah.
There was like they could upstream you at any time, but like we didn't sign the deal and get rich.
Yeah,
we signed like a good indie deal.
Yeah. And are people tripping on you guys going to Drive Thru at that point or no?
I'm sure the Rev board was talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever boards were popping off back then.
That was the label back then, Drive Thru. That was fucking.
Yeah.
But it makes sense for you guys, 100%.
Totally. But we did feed into it a little bit because the release that we did an EP like pretty quickly after we signed, and it was very pop punkish, like much more pop punk than the Rev release.
And you did it on purpose to try to like.
I don't remember ever trying to do anything on purpose, but going back and listening to it, I think like is proof that even subconsciously we were trying to do something.
Yeah.
Some of the songs on that record are some of our biggest songs still.
Okay.
And they sound way better. I don't like the way I sing on that record. It's my main thing.
Okay.
I remember going in with Brian McTurnan. He did all the Movielife
nice.
shit.
Shout out to Brian, man. Salad Day Studios.
Yeah, dude. He's like such an instrumental.
Great human. Shout out to Be Well as well.
If I didn't mention Brian in this journey to you, I would have had to do one of the call-ins that you do. Because he's so instrumental. We like asked him like 5 times to be our manager, and he's like, I'm not a band manager. I'm not your dad. You guys need to figure it out.
Super talented human, man. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, Brian's amazing. So he did the Rev record and the 2 Drive Thru releases. So, like he did like all the records that people like heard from us.
Yeah.
And was super instrumental. And he was like a 6th member of the band, which he often ends up being because he just cares so much.
Yeah.
About everything he does. So,
that's awesome.
So we went in with Brian. He goes, "Is something wrong with your voice?" I'm like, "Oh God." So I go to an ear, nose, and throat specialist in DC where we were at.
Yeah.
Oh no, he was in Maryland at the time in Beltsville, and they shoved the camera down my throat, and he was just like, I thought you hear the nightmares of like the nodes or the polyps on your vocal cords, and dudes getting vocal cord surgery and stuff. So I went down there, and the guy was like, "Nah, like you just have acid reflux," and I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "It's like heartburn like all the time." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "What's your lifestyle?" I'm like, "Denny's at 2 a.m, drinking, orange soda." You know what I mean? After a show with the local bands that we played with. So it was like new. Like there was like one medicine they made for it.
Yeah.
And I got on that and had changed my whole diet. Anyway, I had to sing through that for It's Gambling Problem. Movielife has a gambling problem release. And I'm just super thin and super reserved, and I'm not really going. So it really fed into like just the edge had disappeared a little bit.
So it wasn't on purpose because it was Drive Thru, because it was pop. It was just your voice at the time.
The music got poppier, I think, subconsciously or not subconsciously. I don't know. But my voice, I was just in terrible shape, so I just did what I could do that session. I remember that. That was a pretty life change. I'm still do that now. I take medicine every morning.
Wow.
I can't eat spices. I can't eat tomatoes. I can't eat garlic, onions. I can't have
And there's
coffee.
way better medicines now, probably at this point.
Totally, but they don't let me like do whatever I want. Like I still need to be.
So it's a lifetime
bland
thing.
Ass dude. My shit is bland. It sucks.
That sucks.
I love everything too. I love like every food I've ever eaten.
Fuck.
I can't eat most of it though.
You know what's crazy? You say doing like vocals. I thought that like it was the way it was produced, because I hate my vocals. I always talk about the Go record. I was overproduced, and I didn't write any lyrics on that record. My mind wasn't there. I didn't want to leave independent and go to a major, but I did it. Just kind of went let my brother and Rusty kind of take the ropes of that album.
Okay.
And then my vocals were overproduced and layered, and I can't even listen to it, man.
Yeah.
But my dream is to redo it with Chad Gilbert producing it, like the last.
Retrack the whole record.
Yes, and make it just sound because those songs stand up live, but like recorded, I can't even listen to it. It gives me fucking cringe douche chills.
I know exactly. I know exactly.
You
you
know
know
what I
that I know. I know.
But live, it's different. You can put those songs in the set and they fucking flow.
That's the thing. We were playing shows with you guys during those days, and like, it didn't sound like that live. It just sounded like H2O songs.
Yeah, but the production, oh God, man.
It's when you get into the major label world.
It is, and it's not a regret because it was the time, it was what we were doing, but subconsciously, not for me. I was not there. I was not into it, but the rest of the guys, like, they were subconsciously probably going to major with Newfound and Blink, and we already have a melody. Let's push that melody even further. Yeah. But it wasn't trying to be something we weren't. We never were like that, but just the sound of that record. Plus, no matter what you do back then, whatever label you sound to, you're already getting judged. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't matter.
I would have signed to major in a second back then.
Yeah, they hated you before they even heard the record because of the major, but then if it came out a little bit poppy, then it's a wrap.
Which is silly, because if you think, I mean, obviously, a lot of the punk bands that signed to majors in the 90s, like, they did make some of their best records. And people hated on them back then because they had to.
For sure. It was
for,
a
like,
thing.
their punkness. But, like,
yeah, for the punkness.
I mean, I remember Jawbreaker, Dear You being like, nope. And now they reunited and played 4 shows at Brooklyn Steel. And, like, I know they played a few shows at Palladium.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, people love that record. It was a sellout record for us now, especially when we go to South America. Some of the songs are our biggest songs, but it's cool to like it now. But back then, it was just like,
yeah,
it's different timing, you know?
Yeah, people care about different things now.
And people listen, they think I hate their record so much. I don't hate it. I just don't like my vocals. There's some really great songs on there, but I just, someday I like to redo it. It's not a regret or nothing, just...
I've gotten called out on that, by the way. I thought you hated this song. Why are you playing it? And I'm like, I don't hate it. It's just... I can't. I wish I could change the way it appeared, but it caught people's ears back then for sure. It was our first like introduction into the drive-through world as far as releasing recorded music, and we released a song called Hand Grenade on the Atticus compilations. Atticus was so supportive of all of us.
Huge back then. Tom and Mark's company, correct?
Yeah. And all their buds were like helping run it.
Yeah.
Between that and the shoes and. Yeah.
Huge, bro.
There was one point this kind of just popped back into my head. Like, we eventually had like a van that like Atticus helped pay for with a big bird on the side.
Wow.
Straight up. Like, they were really, really supportive.
Damn.
And that compilation, you remember how important compilations were into exposing, new people to new to
the Warped Tour
comps
that were free. All those ones, just one song on it.
Huge. So we had this song called Hand Grenade on one of the songs on one of the comps, and I just remember that being. People still tell me to this day that's how I know you.
That's so cool.
You know what I mean?
How important that was. Just the street teams handing out fucking CDs at every tour, man.
So important, and that people were like interested in hearing them. Like, people were hungry. They were new to this punk thing, and they were like,
and kids love free shit.
Yeah, of course. Like, wow, this is free. Stickers.
Oh, it was Atticus and Macbeth. That's right.
Macbeth, yeah.
You know what's crazy? I don't know how my son saw it because he wasn't around by there, but ever since my son was a little kid, he always wanted to get that dead bird on his face. He's like, my first tattoo, I'm going to get a dead bird on my face. I'm so happy it never happened, but like, he was obsessed with like that dead bird image. I don't know what the fuck that was from. That was such a big deal, man, that brand.
It was huge.
Hurley, too. That was blowing up, too.
We like did like it got like, I remember going to Park City, like representing Atticus and Macbeth,
rocking all the gear.
Like, there was like some clothing convention or something, and they invited like a few rockers out to be part of it. We didn't do anything except like get on stage at one point and like what's up,
and rock the gear.
Seriously, but we had this free ski trip, and I'm just remembering this too. It was me. It's how I got to know Dave Kennedy. We got Kennedy. Like put in a ski lodge together.
Wow.
With me and Dave.
Was that Boxcar Racer days maybe? Yeah, probably Boxcar Racer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out to Dave Kennedy. He's got James Coffey now, killing it, dude.
Dude, I haven't seen him in years, and I literally like, I gotta get his number from you or something. I feel like such an asshole. Like, we used to chill back in the day. And I've like fallen out of touch with him, and I fucking regret that.
He's killing
life's
it,
too
dude.
short to fucking let shit slide like
He's
that.
got a second baby on the way. He's in Angels and Airways. We just did some Hazen Street shows with him.
Great.
He's killing it, man, with the James Coffee, man.
Dude, I know. It's huge.
And I'm not even a coffee guy, but when I drank coffee, I knew it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a special dude. So,
So you
but
guys
yeah,
went
we
to
were like all, the
the
Atticus
models.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when that drive-thru record comes out, it's a good reception. Your first big release with them.
The EP, Gambling Problem EP was the first thing. Good reception, sold a bunch. I've told this story recently, but like
Not on this podcast.
yeah, not on this podcast. Good Charlotte needs to be mentioned.
Shout them out.
Good Charlotte brought the Movielife out before they were like a household name.
Wow.
But they were still headlining Irving Plaza and shit.
Totally.
I didn't know who they were though, because we were not tied into that world. Like,
Yeah.
it was like on a slightly Christian, slightly major
Yeah.
label-y Christian thing going on.
Totally.
They took us out on a U.S. tour. And I remember being at Quest Club, Minneapolis.
Yes.
Prince's spot.
Yep. Great pizza spot next to it.
We had 200 EPs that we were given for like the week. That should be enough, right? And then we were picking up the rest. I don't remember the reason for that or whatever.
Yeah.
We played with Good Charlotte at the Quest, and we sold 200 records at the show.
Wow.
For real.
Holy shit.
200 records. So like 1 out of every 5 people at the show bought the record at the show.
Incredible.
We were like, this is going to be good. I think people are like digging this.
Yeah.
So it did. It went really well. We toured a ton. And then we wrote a record called 40 Hour Train Back to Penn.
It's a cool name.
Thank you. It's like, it harks back to like the van wreck and stuff, because we ended up taking a 8-hour bus to Fargo and then a train from Fargo back to Penn Station in New York.
Wow.
All banged up, and like defeated,
Yeah.
So releasing that record, we did it with Brian. We kind of knew what we were doing now. We knew we wanted it to be less pop punk and more just like us, whatever that was at that time.
Yeah.
And we made a record that people love still. It's the 20th anniversary next year, actually. We'll probably play some shows, yeah. And then...
That's 2003, that's right.
2003. We released it in February 2003. We went on a big tour with Finch and the Used, who were both massive at the time, co-headlining.
Great tour.
My Chemical Romance opening.
Opening for you guys?
Yeah, we were... they were first.
And now there's
second.
6 nights at the Forum right now.
I know.
Wow,
It's
bro.
insane. They were a different band back then. I remember watching them being like, this is cool. And I knew they were like real punks and like we got along really well. But like none of their songs really hit me.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know. They just
Couple years
became
later.
masters. It was insane.
And even bigger now in 2022.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think that My Chemical Romance headlining arenas around the world is fucking cool.
It's amazing,
Yeah.
man. So they opened.
They opened that tour. We were up playing in front of 2,000-3,000 kids a night with a brand new record out. We made
Perfect.
even more fans. I kind of left out. We started going to England pretty early on in the game and did really well in England.
Okay. Which
So-
not many bands do. They always stick to like just the mainland in Europe.
We like really concentrate on going back there like twice a
I love
year.
it there.
And we went to Europe here and there, Movielife, but like a lot of UK. We did a headlining UK tour. We did a summer co-headlining tour with Further Seems Forever. We headlined Irving Plaza for the first time.
Woo.
We supported you guys there, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was a major like
It's a big deal headlining Urban Plaza, yeah.
very big deal. Saw some of my favorite bands there growing up.
Yeah.
Everything's cool. We go play Reading and Leeds, which was a huge another
deal.
milestone.
Fuck yeah.
We had a crazy set. Songs like on the Kerrang radio or whatever. We're doing like BBC interviews, all this shit.
Wow.
We come home. We do a tour with us, and Fairweather was supporting us. And things are just not going well. We're really tired of each other. We had been touring the whole year.
Yeah.
and we were growing apart. And during that tour, we decided that we were breaking up in the fall. So the record had only been out for maybe 6 months or
2003, 2004-ish, yeah.
Fall of 2003.
Damn, man.
So we played Skate Fest.
At the height of everything.
Yeah.
Everything's going good as far as like the band and people loving you. And
oh my God, people were so pissed. I remember I remember the label in England being like, what the fuck are you doing?
Were you pissed? Were you bummed?
Brian McTernan flew to New York, sat us all down and was like, don't break up.
Like your dad.
Just go, just, and I'm going to say this to anyone listening who's in a band or wants to be in a band or whatever. Don't break up unless you're in a completely toxic situation that's not good for you as a human being. But if you guys are just tired of each other because you're waking up in a hotel bed next to each other all day,
yeah,
and you're sitting in the thing and the one guy's really fucking annoying, maybe just get rid of the one guy.
Or take a break. Or just take a fucking break.
That's what I'm saying. Like all jokes aside, like,
yeah,
just stop and don't say anything. Don't say, hey, we're taking a break, we're on hiatus. Just go away. What's the worst that's gonna happen? People will miss you.
Totally.
So
and be excited to see you again.
Yeah. So we straight up, we had Brian McTernan flew to New York, sat us down, bought us all dinner, and was like, I would like to be the first to tell you not to break up, like officially. I don't know what's wrong with you guys, blah, blah, blah. My father was like, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, you're finally getting somewhere with this. You had us worried. We've obviously been like stressed out about our son trying to be a musician.
Yeah.
And making a few $100s a week.
And now you're killing it and you're stopping.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
So,
is that a regret for you back then?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Honestly, I don't know I don't think we would have been able to go from there. Like musically speaking,
yeah,
making a record with each other. I think everyone was growing so far apart, like taste wise, that the next Movielife record, if we stayed together, it would have been like people pulling, every single member of the band pulling it in a different direction creatively.
Yeah.
And I think people would have been bummed on it.
Okay, that's smart move, yeah.
So, and it led me to like so much more fun in my life. Like the next chapter after Movielife is like
I Am The Avalanche.
Yeah, and like having a different kind of fun and traveling the world as a kind of as an adult now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of good you ended on a great note like that with a record people loved and just like going through the motions just to do it and not being 100% on the same page, all of you guys, and putting out some lame record that you really regret. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's smart what you did.
Yeah. I mean, it was a reactionary thing, just breaking up instead of like, hey, let's just take a break from each other for a little while and see if like the love replenishes, you know?
Get burnt, man.
Yeah. So I was on a construction site with Tim Williams from VOD, working for him.
Wow.
We played on the Saturday in December, you know, at Skate Fest at Palladium. It was our last show.
Okay.
That Monday, I was in Clinton Hill on a construction site loading a dumpster for Tim.
Tim's your boss on the site.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a reality.
I mean, we knew we were breaking up maybe a week or two before that.
How is that reality, like going from that world? Because touring's like a fantasy world. You're living your best life. I mean, like you're just doing what you love. Then you have a boss on Monday and one of your favorite bands and you work construction. It's just like crazy how that is.
It was nuts. It didn't matter that we were living with our parents back then because we were never home.
Yeah.
And now I was home.
You're home.
And my parents were like,
how old are you then?
Figure it out. So it was 2003. So I had just had my 24th birthday.
So now you're back at home and you're working construction.
Yeah, and I'm not. And I'm like, I don't have any sort of skills like that. So
wow,
I was miserable. I was making money.
But not doing what you love, which you've been doing for so long.
No, and it was depressing, man.
Got bad.
Like, you know,
it's
like
nice
you're in like a musty, mildewy basement, like loading it, like demoing shit in Clinton Hill.
Mm-hmm. With Tim VOD, which is cool.
I mean, he was cool as hell to me, and he's always been cool his whole life.
But he was the boss, and you were doing.
He was the boss. He told me a bunch of times. I was talking about talking to the guys I'm working with, who were also like music guys and stuff. And I remember multiple times Tim coming over and being like, listen, you can't just talk all day. You got to fucking work. And I'm like, I'm working. He eventually tries to like, he's like, dude, it's time for you to get tools and shit. Like, this is all the shit you need. And these are all the skills you need to learn. And I was like, dude.
It's such grown up reality, man. Fuck.
I told Tim, I was like, dude, you know that I'm not cut out for this, dude. I'll load a dumpster for you all day. I have a young, strong back. You know what I mean? Like, but I can't cut tiles for you and like start putting walls up and making measurements. And like, my head wasn't there. I could have done it. Of course I could have done it. But like,
you're a musician. This is what you've been doing for so long. It's like.
So right around that time, Daryl split off from Glassjaw, started Head Automatica.
Great band.
And amazing band. Propaganda is one of the finest pop rock records of the last.
What's the one with Brooklyn's Burning?
That's the first one, which is great.
Fire.
Decadence, it's called.
Great song.
So amazing. So Daryl knew Movielife was breaking up. He was putting a band together. I joined Head Automatica playing guitar and like and singing like harmonies and stuff.
Wow.
I played 2 shows.
Okay.
And then I started I Am The Avalanche. But had an amazing time with a bunch of amazing people in the band.
Yeah.
We're staying in San Francisco a lot because like half the band was in San Francisco in the beginning. It was all Dan the Automator's guys.
Okay.
So
what, for I Am The Avalanche?
For Head Automatica.
Okay.
So Dan the Automator produced the first Head Automatica record. So he brought some of his guys in, and then Daryl brought like me, Josh from American Nightmare.
Oh wow.
Larry from Glassjaw. We played Spaceland.
Yep.
And we played the Flaunt magazine party at Sundance Film Festival. And
so
and then I went on to start I Am The Avalanche after that. And then our other friend Craig, who like was from the next town over, took my place on guitar. Yeah. And
you came up with a name for that? I Am The Avalanche?
I Am The Avalanche, I did, yeah.
What was that inspiration?
That was me like writing lyrics and writing stuff, just like stream of consciousness stuff.
Yeah.
That would eventually become lyrics, and I just liked the way it looked.
Okay, and that's awesome.
And I took that. Name. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I don't really have a reference on if that's a good name or not.
Were you always a writer doing poetry and stuff like that throughout your life, or that just kicked in when you started?
Never.
As
soon as I started having to write lyrics, that was when I started writing.
It's very therapeutic. Writing lyrics.
I don't know where I'd be without that. Writing, recording, performing this stuff that you're getting off your chest, you know.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. And I thought that that's all I could get out all my therapy with. But now recently I started going to a therapist the first time in my life.
Oh, you have?
The first time ever. Have you ever been to one?
Never.
Okay, it's my first time. Nobody in my family's done it. I'm like breaking the tradition of not going because I got inspired by a guest who was on it. So I'm going for my second meet up with this lady.
Very cool.
Music's always been my therapy as far as that's concerned. But
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but life starts to bubble up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could definitely benefit by seeing someone for sure. I just never have because we have all of our coping things that we just get used to. We get used to the way we cope.
Totally. And is it enough? And is it really happening or helping? Who knows? I'm going to find out.
Until it's not enough is when I'm sure that's what eventually brought you to where, you know.
Yeah, I just got inspired by the conversation. I was like, I've been talking about every episode of this whole freaking podcast. I was like, let me just try it and do it. And I went, had a consultation. It was amazing.
Cool.
And now I'm going for my next one. And like, I didn't tell my wife and my son. I told them once they made the appointment, they were super proud because we've been talking about it for years. And
very cool.
Yeah. Because I haven't put out a record like in 8 years, so I haven't been writing anything. So, but I am inspired to do something new.
That's great.
Yeah.
Who was the guest that inspired you?
Her name is Jessica Alexander. She's a strength and conditioning coach for Nike SB skateboarders. And she created her own lane doing that, going to Olympics, traveling around, helping all these athletes with mental and physical care.
Dope. I listened to a lot of the episodes.
It's not even out yet, but I'm going to give you her information.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
She's incredible.
Awesome.
And she came to my crib last week and she did like a whole body thing for me and my wife. She did cupping on us, all this shit. Like, it's sick.
Great.
I'm all about that life.
Yes.
So I Am The Avalanche. So that's just all you. You don't have to count on really anybody. You have a band, obviously, but this is like your project. This is like right? So it's a different energy starting that.
This is my first time ever writing music on my own. I basically just like wrote vocals over Movielife stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So the first Avalanche record is me writing a record. I probably wrote half of it on my own, and then I put a band together as that time went by.
Yeah.
And just put together like a all-star cast of people I liked and people I like making mental notes, playing shows. That's a sick bass player, and he's a guy I like hanging out with. But just in case, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool.
So I put together a band. They all met each other the first practice.
Wow.
And they're all like best friends still. And
that's
like,
amazing,
man. We're all like really close. Yeah.
So how soon did it go from like, I'm not cut for this construction life. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate the job offer. You just like went to writing like, fuck, I need to get back on the road. I need to make music. This is my life. You know what I mean? Like
right around that time, the Head Automatica time. Yeah. Which was super.
You got the taste again. You're back on the road again.
Very inspirational being around everybody.
Yeah.
So right, I'm forgetting a very important another fork in the road. There is in San Francisco. Stop being straight edge.
Okay. What triggered that? Like what brought that upon? Just like fuck it and try. So it's kind of like, you really haven't done nothing most of your whole life. You said just a little bit.
Yeah. I had never been drunk or anything. I got like stoned when I was like 12, like once too.
Yeah. So it's like you're out of Movielife. You're on this tour. You're fucking 23.
I'm living in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I am feeling less straight edge. You know what I mean? Like I think that whole kind of year of 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
It just wasn't something I thought about anymore.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking about was smoking weed. Okay. And I was just like,
curious.
Yeah, I was just like, I was
time.
like, I think I might be friends with. I was right. I was correct as well. Like, I think there's a lot of merit to cannabis and cannabis products. At least for me, they were.
Yeah.
They help.
Yeah.
So in San Francisco, Mike Patton and Rozelle made a record together where they just did crazy shit with their voices and stuff because they're both, they play Great American Music Hall. I'm already feeling like I'm not really straight edge anymore. Dan the Automator brings us back into the dressing room, me and Daryl, and Mike Patton's like, I mean, definitely both of our, like, as far as rock goes, like, big influences, or just like inspirations. Like we love Faith No More, love Mr. Bungle,
incredible bands.
Love almost everything Patton's ever done.
Please tell me it's with him your first time again.
Dude, it isn't this was the catalyst. We go back in the dressing room. It's Mike Patton and Billy Gould, the bass player of Faith No More.
Oh yeah.
We're like elbowing each other. Like we had 2 for 1 fucking Faith No More dudes in the dressing room right now.
Yeah.
So and Patton was super fucking cool to us. And this is what he did. And he goes to like shake our hands or like approach us, and he goes, actually, let's do this right. Pours me and Daryl shots of Hennessy.
Wow.
And we were both like, we're straight edge.
Oh, he was too?
No. We were both just like, we don't drink. So sorry, I have to turn you down.
Wow.
And he was just like, okay, whatever. Which seems like a nothing thing, right?
Totally.
Like it is a nothing thing.
Yeah.
If you don't drink, you don't drink.
Exactly.
And that's it. I got back on the airplane flying back to New York. I just looked at Daryl and I was like, I'm not straight edge anymore. And he was just, me and him got fucking our X's tattooed inside our lips together when we were 18.
Wow.
By Chris Koutzis. Shout out Chris Koutzis. And he was just, it blew his mind. And I was just like, dude, it's just like, I'm changing. I'm 24 now. I'm not 13.
Yeah.
Like, there's things, he's like, what are you going to do? And I was just like, it's not even about wanting to have I didn't think about drinking at all.
Yeah.
But I didn't, as a 24-year-old, I was like, whose rules am I following that I couldn't have had a drink with Mike Patton?
Yeah.
It didn't mean I'd ever have a drink again. But in the hardcore straight edge hierarchy, back then when we were young,
Yeah.
we would get a lot of shit for breaking edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I cared about that.
Yeah.
And when I was 24, I did not. I was just like, I wanted to have a drink with one of my vocal heroes. And I should have been able to do that. So right there, things just kind of devolved. I was just kind of like, not devolved, but just like all the rules and stuff that were there.
Yeah.
Just kind of started to disintegrate for me. And I was just like, I'm on my own path here. I'm doing whatever I want to do. So he's like, you going to drink? And I'm like, no, I don't actually care about drinking. But when we were going back and forth to San Francisco a lot, I was like, when we get back to San Francisco, I'm going to smoke a joint. And I did.
And how was it?
Way too much weed. Like, even now. Like,
weed had changed since when you were like 12 or 13.
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, there was no seeds in it or anything. It was crazy. Our friend who we were staying with, Brandon, who was also in Head Automatica at the time, he rolled me a joint, and like me and Daryl actually smoked it together. He decided to break edge like
with you
on a whim. He was just like, fuck it, pass it to me. And we did what I would never do now. I'll take like one hit off a joint and put it out. You know what I mean? I'm still a lightweight. I don't know how people do it. People are all built differently.
Yeah.
But like we sat there with like an entire joint and finished the whole thing and literally like lost our minds. We were so stoned. We were like calling him for help and stuff. we were starving, but we couldn't get off the couch because that was like another universe out there in that dark room over there. We were like tripping on weed. We had overdosed on marijuana for sure.
So it was fun. Kind of fun, yeah.
It was fun to look back on, but we were very scared at the time.
And you didn't feel bad at all? Like, I'm not this anymore? You're like, okay, this makes sense to me. This is what
it made sense to me. My conscience was totally clean. I didn't feel like I was betraying myself.
Yeah.
And at 24, that's all I cared about.
It's your life, man. Yeah.
If anybody else had anything to say about it, I wasn't really caring at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was a grown adult now.
Yeah. It's your life, your choice. You know what I mean? Like
totally. And that's like utmost. I still, when I had Twitter anyway, I got rid of Twitter, and it was one of the best. Either. It was one of the best things I've ever done.
Or Facebook, no.
Yeah, none of that. Instagram is like, you know, all I got.
No TikToks for you?
Nah, man. But like, sorry, the point I was trying to make is utmost respect to the straight edge. I was there with you for 10 years. If you're not now, you never were. Does not make any sense to me. The 10 years that I was straight edge were super crucial in my development as a human being. And I'm so glad that I was straight edge. But yeah, before I got rid of Twitter, I would what's Edge Day?
Oh, it's like something in October or something. Yeah.
I would just be like, shout out to the straight edge. I don't know how the fuck you guys do it in this like, you know, just being a human in 2022 is insane, dude.
Yeah.
And I get like, I lean on, I like a drink and I like to smoke weed and shit, but I don't get into drugs at all. Other shit.
Have you tried mushrooms or anything since?
Yeah, occasionally I'll nibble like a cap or a stem.
People are microdosing now. It's like a thing for the mind and
dude, yeah,
and depression and all kinds of stuff. I heard
mushrooms in general. Not even the psychedelic ones. Like today, I'm like, the hike that we did that I was telling Toby off the microphone.
12 miles, 13 miles.
Yeah, and it was like we walked 5 miles uphill. I think we were like 11 or 12,000 feet up.
Wow.
I could be mistaken about those numbers, but I took this. Have you ever heard of cordyceps?
No.
They're in like some of the mushroom mixes that people use as supplements, like energy or immune system or otherwise. Usually there's cordyceps in there, but I take a straight cordyceps supplement because I can't have caffeine. Doesn't agree with me.
Acid reflux stuff?
Doesn't agree with me. Acid reflux as well.
Yeah.
But super like
make sure
anxiety inducing. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm on the edge of an anxiety attack.
100%.
Which is exciting until you get to the other side and you're fucked. You have to draw the shades.
That's why I can't do coffee anymore. Exactly. Jittery.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it makes me feel.
When we first started dating 13 years ago, my wife was living in Paris, and I went there to kind of like seal the deal and be like, let's be together.
It's cool.
And I pretended to be a coffee drinker for like the whole week. You know what I mean? I just wanted to blend into like, I don't drink wine. I don't drink coffee. I was drinking a lot of wine and a lot of coffee, like trying to just be cool in front of her.
The coffee over there is really good though.
Yeah. I still try coffee every once in a while because if I have a few sips, it's not going to destroy me, and I love it.
I know. That's like the only drug I've ever done is coffee, and I was on it for like a couple months, and then I go back. I have like love and hate relationship to it. Now I do like the yerba mate, which is good.
Yeah,
or matcha.
That shit'll get me fucked up. That's a lot of caffeine, right? Yerba mate.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So you take these little things.
So I take cordyceps supplements,
which gives you energy, natural energy.
Yeah, I forgot how I got on that, but
because you went hiking and we're talking about coffee, we're talking about actually we did mushrooms before.
Yeah, I just think mushrooms in general depend. Thank you. I lose my train of thought a lot, dude.
Killing it.
I think that mushrooms in general, psychedelic or not, are like super crucial for human existence, and I think there's a major connection there, and I buy into it. And ingest a lot of mushroom supplements, but as far as psychedelic mushrooms, I've eaten a lot of those, and nowadays I'll just chew on a little bit. And feel a little tingly.
Mike Tyson has a podcast, and he's always eating mushrooms during the podcast. He's huge wads in his mouth, chewing them the whole time. Like, holy crap! Because when I think of mushrooms, I think about hallucinating, the world spinning. You're laying in the ground, the desert, looking at the sky. But he's like doing a podcast, eating them. I was like, holy
couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine not being out in the woods, sitting by a fire, like talking shit with your friends, or hiking, or just doing outdoor stuff.
Yeah,
I have friends that'll like eat mushrooms that like people I hang out with now. They'll eat like a decent amount of mushrooms and go to a show, and I'm like, wow. Fuck that.
Depends what kind of show. It could be like a mellow show or something like that.
Yeah, but you still got to wait online, go through security, order drinks, talk to people, be around like 1,000 people, like shoulder to shoulder. That's not what I want to do.
And that's not fun even when you're not on mushrooms.
No. Damn. You could just be in your 40s and not enjoy that.
100%. Fuck. So you hike a lot? Is that a big thing for you?
I try to. I mean, I live in Brooklyn, so it's a bit annoying lifestyle-wise.
Yeah, what do you hike there?
We'll go out to the Catskills.
Oh, yeah.
Or I got a really good hike out in Amagansett into Montauk. There's a good hike. But, yeah, Catskills, Lower Catskills, Hudson Valley.
It's beautiful up there, man.
Sedona was amazing.
Ooh.
This last one was the best one, though. We were in a place called... I'm like a novice hiker. Like I don't know all the trails. I haven't been everywhere, mainly because we drive by them right on tour and like don't have time to do anything.
Yeah,
but
Sedona's beautiful though. My wife just went there, so it's amazing, dude.
Never seen anything like it. This one we were in Big Pine, which is like 3 hours north of Bakersfield, pretty much inland.
Yeah.
The eastern Sierra Nevada mountains. I took a triple helping of cordyceps. And and I've been I deal with like a back injury that's come back to say hello recently.
Yeah.
Like a disc thing, which is why I'm sitting on my right butt cheek in your kitchen right now.
Comes back.
Yo, I charged up that mountain and I charged down.
Wow.
And I did way too much. Way too much. Like I hadn't done much crazy physical in like over a month because of my back.
Yeah. When you take those, you're fine, yeah.
Yeah, I recommend it, dude.
It's like the CBDs and stuff like that help too, supposedly, right? All that stuff.
The right CBD, like made the right way, like the expensive shit works.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't really tried any of that stuff, but I know it works. Yeah.
I would get down with cordyceps. Steven Brodsky from Cave-In. Steve Brodsky from Cave-In got me hooked onto cordyceps, and I've eaten them every day for like the last 4 years, and my wife too. Yeah, we believe. You believe you're a believer. I Am The Avalanche. The 7-inch is 2000. I mean, the first record is 2005, and then 2011 is a United album, correct? I'm sorry. Can you repeat? I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off. Take it off, right? Sorry. The cordyceps are coursing through my veins right now. Oh, you have some now? I have a traveling day today, so I just want stamina, and I just want Do you sleep? I was a question. Do you sleep on flights and shit? Never, dude. I can't do it either, man. It's fucking horrible. I watch a lot of movies, though. I cannot sleep on flights, man. I'm the worst flyer, dude. Do you get anxiety flying? I mean, I don't think much more than the last guy. You know,
the process going through. Once I'm on the plane, I'm good with all that security, all that shit, dude.
Yeah, I hate it, and I fly a lot. This is like my 8th flight this month.
Wow.
Like going, I'm going to the airport straight from. For the listener, Toby knows I'm going to the airport.
Damn, airport's really close here too. So I am the Avalanche. 2005 is the first release. Correct?
Yeah, self-titled on drive-through. Still, they kept me.
That's nice.
I shopped it around, and
like Walter Schreifels, he was on the records for like 20 years. All of his projects.
they just like him. Yeah,
so cool.
They kept me for an option. So we did our first record on drive-through and toured forever. We did every single tour. We didn't care about anything but being away, having fun, hanging with our buds, and
as
that's
far
it.
as waste construction you could be.
Yeah. So, dude, yeah. As long as I was in a van, I was playing shows. Like I didn't care. Yeah.
And that's a different animal for you too, as well, because it's not. It's a band. You're all members, but it's your thing. So it's like it's different than the Movielife as far as like probably all the moving parts and making decisions, like just going.
It felt very
freedom.
So different.
Yeah.
It was almost like I was the band leader for a little while.
Yeah.
Which felt weird, but necessary.
Totally.
And those guys trusted me, and those guys brought plenty to the table. This whole new world. It became this band of brothers, which in all honesty, and I think anybody in the Movielife would tell you the same, and anyone in the who was in the Movielife in the past when we were touring with you and stuff. Not sure it was a band of brothers. It didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Even when we kind of, we didn't. Throughout the years, it's just me and Brandon are the only guys left from back then.
Yeah.
And I Am The Avalanche became this real brotherhood, which remains to this day. Even though 2 of the guys aren't in the band anymore because they got they got lives to live and shit. Still such a family. So it was a very different feeling than Movielife for sure.
Yeah, and do they have all have kids?
Nowadays, man, there's 4 Avalanche kids now.
4 Avalanche kids?
Yeah.
Do you want to have kids? Do you have kids?
We don't have kids.
Would you want to be a dad?
I know that if I became a dad that I would kill it. And I would do everything I need to do to be the best dad I could possibly be.
Yeah.
I have doubts.
Gotcha.
I think just like anybody.
It's scary to think about.
The life I've led to lead me to exactly where I am right now, it hasn't really included plans for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You still love being on the road, you still love making music, touring, all that.
Yeah, and so I think there's a chance. The window is getting smaller.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 43, and my wife's 38. So
she's still young enough though.
Yeah, and we talk about it. You know what I mean? We talk about it, but
you're not ready to just be home.
We haven't. I don't know. I think I'll always do music and I'll always play shows and stuff. I don't think anybody nedes to be away all the time anymore. Nah. I think less is definitely more.
Last 2 years days. Told us that too. Showed us that.
Yeah. I don't think if I stayed home and a lot of people are like, dude, you do so much. You're always moving. And I'm like, I'm not really. I'm still home 7, 8, 9 months a year. Yeah. You know what I mean? On Instagram, it seems like you're always doing shit, but I'm not posting about sitting home on the couch and watching Jeopardy.
What about ghostwriting for you? Do you write people? Do you do stuff like that?
I did a publishing deal 5 or 6 years ago.
Cool.
And they gave me the option to be on the writer side of it too. Nice. So I actually have a session when I go home,
That's
writing,
awesome.
Writing with artists for their records and stuff.
Because that can keep you home too, doing stuff like that.
Oh, dude, enough of it. Yeah.
What about producing?
Producing, yes. I work with the Rat. His name's Brett, but we all call him the Rat. He's a drummer of I Am The Avalanche and Movielife. And he does big records. He's one of the go-to guys in the indie punk scene.
Oh, that's awesome.
So he and I co-produced a record for a band called Late Waves. We co-produced a new record that's not out yet from a band called Family Dinner. and in December we're going back to make the second Late Waves record.
Awesome.
So this will be like my third full length that I will have co-produced. And I love it.
Yeah, you love doing that? Yeah, I was going to say.
But I'm not a computer dude and I'm not a knob turner dude. So like I'm bringing the other side to the table, you know?
Yeah.
Work together on the songs in pre-production.
You enjoy it just as much as playing and touring?
I love it. It's
awesome.
just another thing, you know?
Totally.
Like I got to do a lot of things.
Yeah. You seem like you have to stay busy, yeah.
Yeah. We got to... If you're not a rock star, you got to do a lot of shit to like, I mean, just pay your bills.
And even just
as
fill
a
that
musician.
void of that creativeness that you want to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's kind of the thing I'm on right now is like, well, just keep doing music stuff.
Yeah.
Like as much music stuff. I just want to stay there. It's like where I'm happy. I love songs. I love writing. I love everything about what music brings us. So like that's my only plan now is to, you know, we always have to pivot into these little things and figure it out. And I'm always doing that still. Like
reinventing yourself in a sense and
or just adding to your
resume
talents
life.
and resume and arsenal, you know.
I mean, obviously I Am Avalanche, and then you had like Pieced Out, fucking Constant Elevation with Sammy.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Obviously from Eric B. and Rakim.
Yes. Actually, I got it from a Gravediggers song.
Oh yeah,
because
that's right.
I listened to Eric B. and Rakim growing up a little bit, but Gravediggers had a song.
That's right.
That was like
it was a big song. I remember that, Constant Elevation.
So Sammy was like, Sammy, like we were trying to think of a name, and Sammy was like, he like even the cover of the first 7-inch like kind of looks like an EPMD like logo.
Long Island.
So, yeah, Constant Elevation came from a Gravediggers song because
who they got from Eric B. and Rakim would have said that.
Exactly. But I didn't remember that as a kid. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we had Don't Sweat the Technique.
Woo, yeah, man.
The record.
Totally.
That was a full length.
Yeah.
The name of it.
Yeah.
My older brother had it. I listened to it a little bit, but Gravediggers resonated with me more when I got older, and
100%.
So I got it from there.
Constant Elevation. I mean, yeah, that's a great name too, man. The songs are cool too. I remember Sammy. That was awesome, man.
Thank
you guys played a couple shows, right?
Yeah. We ended up playing with, I mean, cool shit. We like went out with Shelter. We went out, played some shows with GB.
That's right.
That was like the last show before the pandemic. Was like Constant Elevation opening for like Indecision, Mind Force, and GB on Long Island.
Wow, I do remember that show.
Yeah.
So you stay busy, and then there's like a gap between Wolverines and then Cities in Search of a Heart.
Yeah. A
couple years.
So while all this is going on, I'm starting to make solo records.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're touring doing solo stuff too.
Yeah.
You play Movielife songs too in the solo stuff.
In the beginning, it was like I would just play Movielife songs and I Am The Avalanche songs.
Yeah.
And then
he's writing solo stuff after that.
I just started to write, and now I have a bunch of solo music, like a lot.
And you put a solo record out too, right?
I put out Cities in Search of
Heart.
That's the newest Movielife record.
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's a lot of shit to sift through there.
I mean, you have so much stuff, man. It's incredible, man.
City by the Sea was my first solo thing.
Yep.
I put that out on I Surrender and Run for Cover, and then I did a full-length solo record on Equal Vision called Survivor's Guilt.
Great label.
I put out a solo EP right before the pandemic called Aging Frontman.
I saw that. That's a great fucking name, dude.
Thank you.
Great name.
Thanks. And I'm writing my fourth solo record right now. I'm like halfway done recording it.
Wow.
Actually. Yeah. And while that's all going on, I Am The Avalanche. There's a 6-year gap where we don't release a record.
Yeah.
You could say label troubles.
Got you.
I Surrender, our friend Rob hit from Midtown, the band Midtown. Oh, you just had a...
great band.
I know you had... I listened to the thing.
Gabe.
The one you did with Gabe, yeah. Old friend, dude. We
awesome.
toured the world together.
I'm going to see him Monday with my cam. I'm stoked.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be seeing him too because they're playing some shows around. Rob got us out of the drive-through contract.
You were still in drive-through. Wow, man, that's a long run.
It just sat there, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And they weren't really a label anymore.
It's not a label anymore. I was going to ask you that, yeah.
I think they've rekindled some things. I don't know if they're signing bands, but they're definitely like, I saw somebody tagged me in something yesterday actually where they're like re-releasing a bunch of vinyl from their catalog and stuff. So I don't know how deep they're going to get into it or
It's a good time for them to come back with all this bands, so much stuff happening.
Oh yeah, and people love like the Drive-Thru catalog is so nostalgic for so many people and so like meaningful to them in their younger years, you know?
Totally. And then also the children's book through He Creative, Epic Sleepover.
Dude, that is
so cool.
You posting about your book was a catalyst for that, so thank you. I had an idea for a story about, like, I had an idea.
Now it's a pre-order.
It's pre-order right now.
Okay, cool.
So I had an idea for a book. You posted about your book before it was out.
Yeah.
I reached out to him, to Phil.
Yep.
Shout out Phil. I was like, listen, I have a story. I have characters. Like, I have this whole thing I've wanted to do for a really long time. I tried to do it in the past with an illustrator friend of mine. It just didn't feel right. The illustration just wasn't like cute enough. I wanted it to be kind of fluffy. And I wrote to him and I realized that we had corresponded before. Like, he had just sent I Am The Avalanche, like cold called I Am The Avalanche designs. Like, hey, if you want to use these, I like your band and stuff.
He loves you too, man.
Yeah. So I was just like, immediately he's like, yes, I know who you are. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be presumptuous or, you know.
Totally.
I was like, you know, I would love to do something. So I sent him, I honestly, like, this is the way it works so quickly. So I had an idea, but not a story. My wife works in a fancy hotel called the One Hotel. We stay there sometimes if the weather's bad because she didn't want to go back and forth and stuff. So we like have these little stay vacations like in Dumbo, like 4 miles from our apartment.
That's cool.
And we stayed for the whole weekend because it was like a snowy weekend last winter. And I just banged out the whole children's book in that stay. I sent him this is what I'm thinking. And he was like, yes.
And 2 seconds later, the whole thing's drawn out already. He's so
good. God. When he sent me the cover, I was like, this is insane. Like, this is actually a dream come true. I know you know that feeling.
Yeah, 100%, man. He gets it too. He like, especially if he knows you and your band, that he'll just. Yeah. There wasn't that much tweaks to it. You know what I mean? Like, especially the photos and the people and everything is just.
So cool.
It's on point.
And he's encouraging me to like put Easter eggs in each of the pages. So I'm like putting my friends' like band stickers on the walls, and you know what I mean? I'm putting like the neighborhood pizza shop on the dad's shirt, and you know, just shouting out everyone. It's like the new version of a thank you list.
It is. That's what I did too. I had to double check. I got everybody in there. Yeah. I forgot Freddie. There's Hoya. You put all your friends in there. I was so anal going back and forth about that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, totally.
Good morning, Max. This is Vinny.
Vinny, man. What's going on? Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So sick job in Pittsburgh, by the way. We played. Yeah. That was a great show.
You just wake up?
No, I've been up a little bit.
Okay, get on my podcast now. I love you. So yeah, He Creative in the book. Yeah, they just killed it.
Yeah. So we're almost done illustrating it. He got set back. He had like a little health issue pop up. So we're a little behind, but I had one person message me today actually.
About it?
He was like, what's up with the book? And that was like the first person.
How long has the pre-order been up for?
For a while. Like since like July. But so the word was it was going to be out in September, but I think it's more looking.
But everything's taking a longer time now coming out of the pandemic. In defense of that, in general, even whatever happened to him health-wise, everything's slowing now with everything getting merch, like pre-orders taking like a year for some people, vinyl. All that stuff. So it's like you have to go with the times. What's happening now? You know what I mean? The post, just everything in general is just
so people are being cool. People are being cool, and I feel like the people that are like reaching out are like. You know, they're just excited. They want it.
Of course. So when's it officially going to be ready, you think? This year, hopefully?
I think it's going to be done being illustrated in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And then, crazily, there's a 2-week turnaround with the printer, which is nuts. That's not the way it works in the music business. It's
incredible, man. And the books come out so good. The cover, like, it's such a great quality, man.
Yeah, I'm so stoked to have it and to hold it. And also to, like...
It's exciting putting book out, man. It's so cool.
Super exciting.
I never thought I'd do that. He approached me and said, you should do a book. I'm like, really? I didn't even think about it, man. Like, it's just... He did HR's book, which was awesome as well.
Yeah, I love those, yeah.
Steve Capillero put a book out.
Yeah.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah.
It's a big achievement, I think.
It totally is. And I put a lot of... I know I just said that I wrote it in one weekend, but I literally
it's been in your mind for years.
I dove into this world and just worked like 15-hour days every day. The whole book rhymes. It's in like a limerick pentameter kind of.
Okay.
There's a word for that kind of pentameter, but it's straight up like rhymes like limerick shit, and tells a cool story about a dude and his friend and his little sister and their dog. And basically, one of the kids who's named after one of the guys I grew up with, Duke, figures out this like ritual that they can perform before they go to sleep at the sleepover. And if they do that, then they can like travel within each other's dreams. And each kid has their own thing that they're into.
It's cool, man.
And so each dream is like geared towards the kid's personality and like the things that excite them. So most of the book is in a dream sequence, which is cool because you can do whatever you want.
That's amazing, dude.
So I'd love to do more of these. They can just go on more adventures.
That sounds like something animated I like to watch as well.
Yeah, let's go. Let's make a TV show.
I mean, they could do something like that. He should animate some of his books. I can see him doing that.
Yeah. So the book's called Epic Sleepover, and that was a working title. Phil was like, I think that's the title, and I was like, okay.
I mean, it's a great title, man.
Yeah. So thanks.
That's so
I'm
cool.
Stoked. I'm like really excited. You can tell I'm excited.
Yeah, you
I
are.
Just
Yeah. Are you deep into like the I was gonna ask you. You said it rhymes. You love hip hop. Did you ever think about rhyming? Have you ever recorded yourself rhyming or ever wanted to do hip hop?
Dude.
Because you love it so much.
I don't want you to go back and listen to a compilation called
Just say it.
I don't want to say it wrong. Too Legit for the Pit.
Wow. You're rhyming on that?
Dude, it's
Can people find this? People are going to go crazy right now. Look for it.
So check it out. It's crazy that it was like hardcore and punk bands covering hip hop.
Okay.
It was called Too Legit for the Pit.
Love it.
The cover of the record was like a play off of like Biggie's like big record. Like there's like a little kid on the cover and like a diaper and stuff. So every band, and it was all hardcore bands too. And then us, it was like Scarhead.
Wow.
Candiria.
Nice.
I don't even know, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hard, super hard, yeah.
So they all like made like hardcore songs or like, hardcore and hip hop crossover pretty easily. We like straight up, we didn't like get the memo at all. We just re-recorded a Public Enemy song.
Wow, which one?
Can't Do Nothing For You, Man.
Sick.
Which is a Flavor Flav song.
Yeah. Can't do nothing for you, man. Yeah.
So I'm rapping. Wow. It's not good, man.
It's not.
And then in the end, Flavor Flav like kind of vamps out towards the end, and he's like, "Your mama got golden nipples, wash your butt," and all that shit.
Yeah.
And he's laughing. So during that time, I'm like shouting out all my friends' bands. This goes out to Glassjaw.
Oh, that's amazing. So that's your only recording of hip hop.
There's some other stuff. But my first show was supposed to be a hip hop show.
Okay.
Me and Daryl and a few of our friends had a thing called The Directory, which was like, actually, that was kind of one of my first bands, but it wasn't a thing. Like,
it's a cool name.
We would just get like instrumental 12, like flip it over and listen to instrumentals of songs that we liked, and then we would just rhyme over it.
Okay.
We never pursued it, but that might have got my juices flowing a little bit. Like, we were going to play a backyard party, which is basically us rapping over other people's beats and like hanging out, but it got canceled, and then the first Movielife show happened.
Wow.
So my first show was almost rapping.
But you love hip hop. You're a big hip hop.
Love hip hop. Not a good rapper.
I always see you rocking different hip hop shirts, De La, everything, man.
Yeah.
Tribe, Nas.
That was the first music that, like, you listen to what your parents have or what your older brother get. Like, the first music that we bought on our own was hip hop.
Yeah.
And maybe metal too, like at the same time, hip hop and metal.
Did you support like Long Island Leaders of the New School and stuff like that? Did you support like EPMD?
Yeah. So my brother BJ was the guy that like led the way with hip hop. He got into all the native tongue shit, and like he was getting into cool shit at a very young age.
Yeah.
So like Public Enemy was the first thing, because
are they Long Island, right?
Long Island, yeah.
People never talk about that really.
Public Enemy was my favorite band, even from elementary school. My favorite group. My brothers got me into it. I would say my hip hop growing up was Public Enemy, De La, Tribe, Slick Rick, Gravediggers.
Is this your top? Could this be your top 5?
Yeah, I think I just listed them.
That's
Yeah.
so good. Nobody's ever said Gravediggers in top 5. That's awesome. Or Slick Rick, who gets Should get way more props.
I mean,
It's incredible, dude.
I guess
Storytelling.
I could understand because like Slick Rick has. I mean, this is all my opinion. Slick Rick has one great record.
True.
The Great Adventures of Slick
Children's
Rick.
story. Yeah. That with children's story on it.
Yeah, and like Mona Lisa,
Ooh.
Teenage Love,
Teenage
and
Love,
like that spoke to me. That was crazy. That I didn't know what he was talking about. Some very lewd shit on that record, and I had no idea what he was talking about.
I listened
I
to it
was
again.
young.
Probably, yeah.
It's kind of gnarly. Some of those songs can't go
Okay.
over now. He won't play them in some of those
Okay.
songs.
Some cancel type shit. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, just rap in general. Going back, like, you'd have to cancel the entire genre.
I know.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, that record came out in maybe 88, so I was like 9.
Damn.
Listening to,
That's crazy, man.
you know, it like
Yeah.
it sounds early, but not when your brother's like 13, 14.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
But some
yeah.
of those lyrics might be going to your head at that point. You're not really
Totally. I
digging
didn't know what all the
what you're
sexual
singing.
references were and stuff. You know
yeah.
what I mean? But like De La is like, that's the one. If I had to choose De La forever, like if I could never listen to any more hip hop,
And not
except
even
for
'cause they're
one
from
group.
Long Island. Yeah, it's just because it's so posy, bro. It's so
3 Feet High and
dude.
Rising
Incredible, man.
is an insane achievement. They were in high school.
It's amazing.
I listened to it. You got to check it out. Do you know who Open Mike Eagle is?
No.
I didn't know who he was either. I just heard that there was a podcast episode about Gravediggers with Prince Paul.
Oh, sick. I'll listen to that. Yeah.
So I think anyone else listening who's into this shit is going to be excited. It's called What Had Happened Was.
Yeah, I heard that actually.
It's
too.
cool.
Okay.
And it's this dude, Open Mike Eagle, doing a deep dive, like for at least the whole season, was just Prince Paul.
Wow.
Like going through
all this stuff.
Stetsasonic, going through De La, Gravediggers, going through his career.
Yeah. Super talented.
Anyway, I didn't realize that, like, Prince Paul was kind of like their mentor, and they were still in high school when they recorded 3 Feet High and
I
Rising.
know that either, man.
It's fucking crazy.
Such a game changer for everything, man.
Best hip hop record ever, I think. I mean, obviously that's up for debate, depending on who you talk to. I probably wouldn't think that if I grew up in L.A.
I know. I put them up
You
with
know.
Tribe though, for sure. Both like as far as groups. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And super like positive and changed everything about hip hop and yeah, man. With the fucking daisies and just all the peaceful vibes. Oh man.
It was different.
So ahead of its time, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so different coming out back then. The bright colors, all that shit. Not like gangster shit. Still tough and still hard in their own way, but like not.
Yeah. Yeah. They, and they, like Balloon Mind State, I didn't get as much at the time, but like De La Soul is Dead
Woo!
did get me.
Yeah.
And then Stakes is High.
Stakes is High is great too, man.
Stakes is High is probably in my top 5 hip hop records of all time.
Okay.
Something about that record.
I'm gonna go back and deep dive that too, and it's so cool to get all the masters back.
It's
and all
hard
that
to.
stuff.
I know, but still, I figured that we'd be hearing music by now.
I know.
Like, they got their,
It's not. You can't find it, man.
they like made the announcement, like, it's working, it's happening.
About a year ago.
That's a
maybe.
long time ago.
I know.
I
It's
just want to be
exciting.
able to stream. I haven't heard 3 Feet High and Rising in a long time.
We have no vinyl or anything like that, or anything at home. No.
I bought the vinyl of it last year. I found it in Greenpoint,
It's cool.
like the repress,
Yeah.
which is cool. I mean, it's a double disc, the repress.
So cool, man.
I haven't listened to it though. We don't have our record player situation in our apartment is kind of dismal at the moment, and we haven't been prioritizing that. So I need to get a rig up and running.
It's crazy in 2022 and not being able to find that music. You have to go to YouTube or something for De La Soul.
It's tough
So
for
it's
YouTube
it's
too.
exciting for them to come. Oh yeah, YouTube probably not either. Yeah.
They like wipe it.
Did you
like-
like Wu and like Mobb Deep and stuff like
Oh,
that?
definitely.
Gangstar?
Yeah, I would say Guru is probably on the list of like my favorite MCs too.
Incredible, man.
Yeah. Wu-Tang was the first thing, and then we heard
Busta Rhymes, Long Island.
Oh yeah, Busta Rhymes. He was he Leaders of the New School?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I thought King
yeah.
V was from Long Island too. MF Doom's first group, but maybe it was Queens. I always thought it was Long Island.
maybe.
And Third Base, I thought they were Long Island too. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not
There's a lot of
sure.
people- I mean, Rakim's from Long Island.
Yeah, and EPMD's Long Island.
Yeah.
There was a lot of
A lot of
like
hip hop from like important, incredible music, man, from Long Island, dude.
yeah, it's very special, and I think it speaks to like how much of an impact it made. So like when we were buying our first records with our own lawn mowing money, we were like finding out about, because you could buy one rap magazine and be like, oh, Big Daddy Kane.
Totally.
Oh, they're doing this on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I know that sounds so stupid, but as little kids, we were like, these guys are from a few towns over. That meant a lot to us.
Same with the hardcore bands you found out about.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's incredible.
These guys are like, went to like the high school that I went to. VOD went to my high school. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So what do you think keeps you going at this point, making music and still being creative and still just loving it? Like, what do you think it is?
I absolutely love traveling as much as I like making music. The fun I have writing and recording and producing music is still, I'm better at it now. Yeah. I have just as much fun doing it as the first time we ever did the first Movielife demo.
That's great.
And that's not bullshit. Like,
yeah.
I get excited about writing. I get excited about traveling. I surround myself with musicians that I love and want to be with and want to travel with and who inspire me. I like worry about the future and shit. And my plan B situation isn't great. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of in this spot where I'm this kind of grassroots dude that like some people get down with. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if I work hard enough, I can make a living doing it. But I worry about when I'm like, I don't know.
My age.
Like but that's inspiring too. I watched you guys play the other day in Pittsburgh at that festival, and it was like, it didn't seem like it was 2022 at all.
Man, thank you.
It was
thanks to Max
cool.
too, man. Yeah, man. New energy.
That was cool. Watch it, dude. I know I just met Max in the kitchen, but like, I remember, you guys were, Hazen Street was doing the POD tour. Yes. And I spent the day while you guys were doing all the shit you got to do, load in, sound check. I spent the day with Moon and Tia, Dave's ex.
Oh, wow.
And Max in a stroller.
I did not know that. That's
straight
amazing.
Up.
Wow.
And I came out to the show and like hung out and shit. But like, yeah, I hadn't like laid eyes on Max since he was in a stroller.
Crazy. Hanging
out with Moon and Tia.
That's crazy.
Until I was watching him play drums in H2O a month ago.
It's crazy, man.
So it's cool to see.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal, man. It's awesome, man.
It is surreal. I bet it's weird every time you look back at your son's playing drums in your band.
Yeah. It's
like
so
in
cool.
the best way.
In the best way. And it's like I feel like we're just like a new band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like feel like new energy and stuff.
It is.
Yeah,
trust me. We just watching it the other day. I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you. That's what people are saying too. It makes us happy.
And it brings me back to all I watched you guys play a lot. We toured the U.S. and Europe, and you remember Deconstruction Festival. Ooh, yeah. I might remember that shit more than you guys did because we were like, we're on tour with the Bostons and H2O.
Who else was on that?
Dude, the
Lost Prophets.
Yup.
Wow.
Yup. Lagwagon.
That was crazy, man.
Midtown.
Midtown.
Us in Midtown were sharing a bus on that one. Mad Caddies. Flogging Molly opened every day.
They're massive now.
That was like right when they started. Wow. Turbo ACs.
Yes, from New York.
I remember every single band on it. It was like something. It was like our first time in Europe.
Okay.
So, and we were on such a big tour and like
crazy tour, man.
Around all you guys and just like all was on it.
That's right.
And we've been like, this is the guys from the Descendants. Like, we were more Descendants fans than All fans.
Me too. I love all those. Some great records, but
no, totally.
Damn, that was a great tour. I don't know what year that was. 90 something, man. Holy
that
crap.
was.
Was it 2000?
No, it was 2002 probably.
Okay. Do you still listen to new hardcore or like pay attention to like new younger bands and?
Yeah. I'm still friends with some people in the hardcore scene. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't feel like I'm in the club anymore, which makes sense because if I just kept going to hardcore shows every, I went on tour.
Yeah, man.
For my whole life.
Yeah.
And so I feel a little disconnected sometimes. I think what Sonny's doing is definitely making me feel more connected.
Man. Killing it. Love watching all that.
And we're still tied into like I'm still friends with all my old hardcore friends, you know what I mean? But like I meet younger people through like Chris Smith from Backtrack, who plays in Avalanche. He plays in Avalanche now for the last few years. His little brother, I mean him and one of his other little brothers, Danny, played in Backtrack.
Okay.
They have been this sort of conduit for me to newer hardcore because they're all there, and their little brother, who's like in his 20s still, has the band Pain of Truth, who's who's so sick.
Yeah, they're sick.
So sick, like having crazy shows everywhere.
Crazy shows.
So like I
Is
feel
it
like
Drain from out there too?
Drain I think's from out here. They're like Santa Barbara.
Yeah. Then we got Scowl from over there. Then we got Gel from Jersey to saw the other night. They were incredible, man.
Yeah. So there's one band I'll say like I love Mind Force.
Oh yeah.
Like reminded me of Leeway a lot, and like and they're crazy good live. He's like a rapper on stage.
Yeah.
The band that most has my ear right now, dude, if you haven't listened to it, Life's Question.
Life's Question. Okay.
That they have a song called Cracks in the Floor of Heaven, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yo.
Where they from?
I think they're from Philly.
Okay.
I came across the singer. Avalanche played a show with did like a week with Lagwagon recently. We played in Philly. Chris Smith, friends with the singer of Life's Question. He came out. We all hung out all night. Really nice guy. And then we had to drive overnight to that Pittsburgh thing to load in really early.
Damn.
So we listened to hardcore the whole way. And I got so down with Life's Question. What a wild band. Like, retro hardcore, even in the image and what everyone's doing, feels so 90s to me.
Yeah.
And like, even just looking at record covers, it's like a record cover that would only come out in the 90s.
I love that the kids are doing that, man.
Me too. It's cool. It's fucking nerdy and awesome. Yeah, we listened to Life's Question got my ear. I fucking love it.
Check them out.
They're playing tomorrow with Drain in Brooklyn, but I haven't seen my wife in much lately.
Just go home. Let's go to a hardcore show. Yeah.
I know. I want to go to the show so bad, but like I've been traveling so much, I really haven't seen Laura much, and like I'm trying, and I'm going on tour October 26th for a month.
Oh, you gotta go chill with your lady, man.
So
happy wife, happy life.
I'll catch Life's Question like next time.
Yeah, we just gave him a big shout out so people can check him out.
Dude, it's so good. It's so fucking good. Like, it's hard to even describe what it is.
What about the obvious Turnstile?
Turnstile, insane.
I'm obsessed, man.
Watching the videos, they just played in Brooklyn and 6,000 people.
I just saw it, man. I saw the footage in DC, Brooklyn. 2 nights sold out here. The Blink tour. I'm so happy for those cats, man. Good kids, work hard, make great music.
Crazy. It's nuts.
Grinding, man.
They're the biggest hardcore band ever, right?
Yeah.
Am I?
No.
Was AF bigger than that? Like playing, I know like a festival's one thing when all the punks are in one place.
Yeah.
Talking about Turnstile headlining shows.
I know, and I love that they love the old school stuff. They give props to it. They're hardcore historians.
Yeah.
They
come from real
Trapped Under Ice.
A very real hardcore scene.
Totally, man.
Yeah. Trapped Under Ice. I mean,
great band. Shout out to Justice, man. Like, incredible band. Like the whole Baltimore, Virginia, DC, whole crew, Maryland. Like all those kids, like in bands together. Diamond Life, Angel Dust, all that.
It's all cool. It's all cool, tasty shit. They're all like
creative, and
I was shocked hearing Justice's band, like
him singing and like killing it
and doing really tasty like indie rock
and
influence shit with like no rules whatsoever. Dude. A sharp turn into straight punk.
And I say back then we couldn't do something like that because you couldn't go from like, I loved hip hop and pop and all this stuff. We did a Madonna cover, whatever. We did Ice Cube cover. We loved all that, but I never tried to rhyme or try to be extra poppy. But now it's like, if you love all that, fucking write a song like that. So seeing Angel Dust do the first half of the set, he has an acoustic guitar.
I know.
Everybody's singing along. Second part, the guitar's off. His microphone going hard, like Trapped Under Ice, killing it with the fast hardcore Angel Dust songs. It's fucking beautiful, man. And the melodies of Turnstile and the different influences you can hear, like straight up, like.
Dude, when I first heard Turnstile, I was like, these guys listen to Dog Eat Dog. And I might be wrong. I don't know if Dog Eat Dog was, that was my thing. That's another thing I used to write on 311 day on Twitter. I would just write Dog Eat Dog was my 311. You know what I mean?
That's another influence you hear with them.
Yeah, 311,
Black Train Jack, Mad, everything, dude.
Yeah, the high vocals will like bring you there, right? Like, and sick mosh parts, crazy live.
Everything, dude.
Good message.
Kids. Yeah, man.
What's not to like?
And I hate like the gatekeepers are always like, oh, this ain't hardcore, this and that. It's like hardcore is not one sound. It's changed a million times since we were young, since our generation, your generation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
it's so funny you
it's
said
more than
that,
the sound. It's more than the sound.
We went to see this past summer. Went to see Madball and Cro-Mags and Burn play at Tompkins.
Oh wow!
And we got into Niagara to go have a beer in between bands. And an old head, I don't know. You probably know him. I don't remember. I don't remember his name. But he was looking. It was funny. I actually felt like it was funny because, like, I mean, I'm in my 40s now. I'm not a kid. He was like, he came over. He was kind of eyeing us, and I was just like, "Hey, what's up, Burn? Right? Burn's fucking amazing. That was great." He's like, "That was great." He's like, "What are you guys into? Like Turnstile and shit like that?" Wow. And I was like, I mean, yeah, Turnstile's cool, but like, I mean,
you look super young.
I'm 43, dude. Like, I've been going to shows since the early 90s. But you mentioned the gatekeeping thing, and I was just like, oh shit. So like, there's older hardcore heads that are like, I'm not saying like I listen to Turnstile all day every day. Like I'm like I'm the worst at getting into new music. I'm like listening to the Breeders more than when I was 15 when they became my favorite band. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a shitty music fan. I'm gonna hold my hands up.
I've been the new Kendrick album every single day since it came out. Almost, I'm obsessed.
Right? Yeah.
Oof, okay.
It's sick.
Yeah, it's like poetry. It's an art piece, like talking about sexual abuse, child abuse, and transitioning. Yeah, the most darkest, heaviest shit. And I just saw him perform, and it was like a religious experience seeing him live. I see him a bunch of times. Like, he's just a different level, man, of poetry. It's really good, man. It's incredible, man.
Very cool.
So I've been on that every day. Like,
that's something I could save for the plane. I got no excuse not to listen to it once. You know what I mean?
It's really fucking awesome. Him and J. Cole are like my faves. Anyway, go ahead. So yeah, he felt like he was like, so what do you like? Turnstile, like almost like a diss.
Yeah, and I was just kind of like, well, you know, Turnstile, even if I don't listen to him every day, like I'm super down to go to a show. I couldn't get a fucking ticket. Yeah. I'm down. I want to go to shows. I want to like
great shows.
Yeah. And I'm seeing every person in my life is at the shows, by the way. Instagram stories are just like Turnstile. So that brought me to listen to it. Because I was like, oh, that's cool. They're doing their thing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hold on a second. So I did go back and listen to it. Steve Choi from RX Bandits, actually. He picks me up. Me and him were going. He lives up in Santa Rosa. He picks me up at SFO to go and just chill and spend some time up there in the woods and shit. We listened to the Turnstile record from the airport to his place. And that was my first time really listening to the whole thing. And I was just like, fuck.
Dude.
It was, I guess definitely before they started drawing like 6,000-7,000 people to shows.
Yeah.
And becoming like, I mean, where is this going to go after the Blink shows?
So cool. I can't wait to see those shows, by the way. It's incredible.
I got to get to one of those.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I've always loved. I was never like that. Like, that's not hardcore. That's like, because to me, my hardcore is different than your hardcore. I'm 52. Like, you're in your 40s. Everything's different. Everything changes. It's not just a sound.
Yeah.
It's beyond that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so they are a hardcore band to me. And
they are.
And they have all different other influences, and they're not afraid to show those other influences. You know what I mean? Unlike us who love hip hop, we're not trying to put a rap project out. It's a little different. But you know what I mean? Like, it's so cool.
Long may that last, like where hardcore is one thing in the verse and another in the chorus, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it's beautiful.
And the band, like Snail Mail opened the show. That's sick.
And they're bringing out all these bands I've never even heard of, and I'm like, all these bands are sick.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
I feel so like...
I want to see, like, now that they're all the way up there, I want to see which hardcore bands that they bring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck.
Dude, hardcore, man. For people, some of the people going to see Turnstile, are not into hardcore.
Of course. I love
I
that.
think a lot of them are gonna be.
Yeah.
Hardcore is
You'll
gonna
see
be
who they like us. Who's their influences? Whose shirt is he wearing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? He wore a Praise shirt, who I love on stage the other day. I love Praise. They're incredible. I don't know if you heard the new record.
I haven't.
All in a Dream.
That's a Rev band? Praise?
Yeah. And
Okay,
they have
yeah.
like a total like 87 Seconds Embrace, Rites of Spring, DC vibe. They're fucking... It will give you goosebumps. It gives me the feeling if I listen to Embrace or I listen to the new Praise record, it's that DC, that his voice, it's just like emotion. It's wonderful, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
You
cool.
gotta check that out. I love them too. But like, yeah, man, this like him wearing that shirt. Now some kid might check out Praise. Like,
Yeah.
just their influence is so huge
this
right
is
now.
this is a moment. Like
is a
in the
moment.
history of hardcore.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah. In the history of hardcore, there's the chapter in which Turnstile takes over.
Yes.
And starts influencing an entirely new generation. A bunch of people are finding out hardcore is huge.
Yeah.
How many people does Sonny have following him on
A
Instagram?
lot, man.
A few 100,000?
Yeah, man.
So there's a few 100,000 hardcore kids.
And he captures it so beautifully too, man. It's
I remember when there was 150 hardcore kids on Long Island.
yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd love to see what Turnstile draws on Long Island, man. Probably same shit.
They might have to play the fucking... They might be playing arenas after this blank shit. Because
Yeah.
you know that they're going to come and make another good, interesting, genre-bending record.
And they had like a hip hop producer for this last one, supposedly. Somebody worked with Dre or
I
something.
would be very surprised if they didn't go with him again. That was
Yeah.
a really good outcome.
Yeah. Do you still have to be at the airport in an hour?
What time is
What time did you be at the airport? Really, 1:20 still? What time is your flight?
Yeah, but
it's
we're
close.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're pretty. I said a couple more things.
No.
I just wanna rush you
I got to
in.
leave here by like
What time?
maybe like 20 minutes.
Okay, we got
15,
we got
20
this.
minutes?
This is. I could talk to you fucking 10 hours.
I love it.
You have any daily rituals?
Drive the wife to work, which is more fun than it sounds. I live in Greenpoint, and I just
Okay.
drive down. I take the back roads to Dumbo, like Brooklyn Heights.
Okay.
But we like to cultivate a peaceful atmosphere to ease her into her very stressful workday.
Nice.
So we pick music.
Classical.
No, lately it's been a lot of like reggae and like
Nice.
and like dub shit, because that can be very like soothing.
Totally.
But sometimes just like soothing music, you know, like sometimes straight up like Steely Dan or something like
Nice.
that. Very rarely the Grateful Dead. I like the Dead, but she doesn't.
How about
mind
some
as
Sade?
much.
No, that's pretty loud.
Sade we can throw into the mix. And then I usually go straight. I drop her off, and then I turn around, go straight back to Greenpoint, and I'd say half the time I go directly to my practice space where all my gear is, and I just write.
Nice.
For whatever, you know, all the shit I got to do.
And is music just your full time now? Do you do any other things?
Yeah, but just like 10 different things
Okay.
at the same time. You know,
But not the batting range anymore.
I'm not at the batting range, but no, like I'm not. I'm at the point now where I'm like I'm looking. Like I want to do. I am working when I'm at home. I'm doing like I'm doing the work that's necessary to
Totally.
facilitate everything else.
Yeah.
But like I definitely want to start like working like side jobs and shit when I can.
Yeah.
It's just as long as it doesn't get in the way of.
I think
like,
you could be producing more bands and putting the word out there right now into the atmosphere. That
dude, the outcome of us producing, that's the thing. Like I need an engineer, and me and Rat work really well together, so we do
Yeah.
it. But he's not going to work with me on everything he does because it just doesn't make sense financially or
Yeah.
creatively. But yeah, producing totally. Like we're making a record in December for Late Waves.
Awesome.
Shout out Late Waves, they're fucking awesome. Asbury Park band, fucking
Nice.
beautiful people, great rock band.
shout out to Asbury Park, which is totally different now, man.
Oh my
God.
god.
This went there. It was like a different world, man.
Yeah, I didn't remember that strip being.
Going to Stone Pony
In
back in the day, I
existence.
saw like a pig's head on the beach once with a cigarette in its mouth. Like Stone Pony was
Shit.
area was gnarly back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And now
Even
it's just,
yeah, it's
I
nice
could-
to be around.
I could live in Asbury Park actually. I don't know.
We
man.
thought about it. Me and Laura thought
it's
about
probably crazy expensive. You never know.
it. Ain't Greenpoint prices. If it is, that's crazy.
So Greenpoint's like so New York is like
Oh,
a different
dude.
animal coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah. So shit got affordable. People signed like pandemic leases
Yeah.
in like these nice places, but then
It's up now, isn't it? The time's up now.
now they're like, all right, everyone out.
Damn.
So like, we live in the same apartment for 7 years.
Nice.
It's small. but we know that and we make it work, and
Yeah.
we get along really well,
That's New
especially
York.
in a pandemic. We were just like, see
Yeah,
how
really
this
test the
goes.
relationship, man. A lot of
Yeah,
people
we
make
had
it through
like
that.
fun. We had a good time.
good.
We got into like, I remember one argument, and it was something really dumb.
Because you're always gone, then you're like forced to be with like your partner or your wife, whatever, or husband, and you're like, it's just us two. Like,
I know.
my wife's like, yo, you need to go on tour. It's the first time in 26 years. I haven't been on a real tour since 3 years ago. The Europe tour, like a full tour. So hopefully we'll go.
Yeah,
in
the one with
March.
Battery.
No, this was H2O, Agnostic Front, Gorilla Biscuits.
Oh, yeah,
Wisdom
yeah.
and
There's a name for that. Was the name?
Yeah,
for the tour?
Persistence.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back. I haven't said anything yet, but I'm gonna say it now. In March, H2O, Madball, and a bunch of other bands for the Rebellion tour. First time back in 3 years.
Sick.
I'm very excited, man.
Very cool.
But yeah, New York seems like a totally different.
Oh yeah, like we were looking. We wanted to get a 2-bed, and we live in Greenpoint, like close to the water, so it's even more like. It's still all Polish. They all own all the
Yeah.
buildings and shit, but like. It's more like the $8 iced coffee side of Greenpoint. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Like it's just like there's all the places opening on my street are like cocktail bars and like fancy looking shit. You know,
Yeah.
because the people in the high rises are moving in, and that's what they're gonna want. You know, so
Would you ever leave New York?
yeah.
Where would you go?
Um,
You seem like a guy might live in Utah or some shit we can hike or.
yeah, I'm down.
I could see that hiking spot.
So she works for this particular chain, and her career is going really well.
Okay.
For this 5-star hotel chain, and so at the thing that's going to bring us out of New York is her like transferring to one of the other properties.
Yeah.
And whatever property that is, I'd be willing to give it a shot. No
matter where it is.
Yeah, nothing
Okay.
against New York. I love New York. I still live there. I still haven't left. Most of my friends have.
True. You're a New York native, man.
43 years in New York.
Dope.
20 years like what? It'll 18 years living in and out of the city in Queens and Brooklyn and
Would
shit.
you move to the South if she had to get a job there? Would you? That's
She,
a hard one.
she transferred to South Beach in Miami
Okay.
because they have a hotel down there, and we ended up living down there last winter for
Oh,
3 months.
Okay, that was probably nice in the winter though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, like they're not opening 5-star hotels in like the middle of nowhere.
Nah,
So it's like
you're good.
it's the country. It's like the big cities in the United States, like the big cosmopolitan cities.
Chicago.
They haven't opened there yet, but like they're opening a lot. But like
What about LA if they open one here?
they got one here.
Huh.
They got one in like North Hollywood.
Do you like Cali?
Love Cali. I love that Cali is close to Hawaii. I love that too. I mean, I just came up from straight mountains, straight to your neighborhood.
You could surf one day, snowboard the next day.
Beautiful. I was meant to be a Cali dude. I was gonna follow in your footsteps for real. But like,
It's never too late.
I got so another thing that happened that we skipped over is I got married when I was 27
Yeah.
to a girl who was 23 who grew up in England.
Married in 2017.
So well that's my new marriage.
Oh, you married
So,
twice?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I
So
was
that was all
27, no, it's all good.
Okay.
But that was part of the point I'm making about California is when my first marriage fell through, I wanted to leave.
Got you.
I wanted to run. You know what I mean? And California was where I was going to go.
Okay.
I had lots of friends from touring and like just people here. And I loved it. And I always thought I would come here, but I didn't have any money. So I was bartending and shit a lot in the city, saving up money to leave. And my wife, Laura, now like walked back into my life that summer, and we've been together for 13 years now.
Wow.
If she didn't come back into my life, I would have moved to California and made a life here and probably still would be here. Like that was the plan. And I know I can do this. Like I'm a beach guy and I'm a city guy and I'm a mountain guy. You know what I mean? Like I like all of that. So
it's never too late.
Water's too cold here, man.
The East Coast, that's right. Yeah, my son tells me that's freezing here, yeah.
I always thought that growing up. Like LA or just the West Coast in general was sold, Southern California was sold as such a paradise to us.
But then the water.
When I got here on my first tour in 1998, I go in the water and it's like unswimmably cold. I hate that.
It gets warm certain times, like August, September.
Yeah.
I go with my son swimming in Malibu and stuff. Are you an optimist or pessimist?
I'm an optimist, and I put that out into the world. But I'm a worrier. I'm a total worrier.
You're worry wart. My mom used to say, "You're worry wart."
Yeah, I'm a thinker.
So you stress about shit?
Big time. So like,
you stress about things you can't control?
Certainly.
That's the thing I stopped doing the pandemic. Like, I might never play a show again. This is focused on what I can do now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control that.
Yeah. Optimist with a tinge of too much thinking. Yeah.
Okay. That could be a good thing and bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not a negative person. You always seem like a positive person.
I definitely put that out there at all times. I don't think I need to put negativity out into the world. I just keep it all inside my brain at 3 a.m.
What was I going to ask you one more thing? Oh yeah. If any major regrets?
Big time. 100%. But, yeah, you can talk in circles about regrets, right? Because you don't regret them if they get you to where you are.
True.
I definitely regrets, but definitely glad that me being who I am at age 43 now is, you
happy with your career and where you're at right now in your life?
Absolutely. And the person that I am and the person that I know I am now, and I'm a better person than I was when I was younger. And like that means a lot to me. So
you're an adult.
Those regrets did set me, like any of those, like growing up and shit, anything that pops into your head, like they do set you on course to either make more regrets and just like drown, or be a good dude and be fucking cool and go out of your way to be a good person and do good things.
Yeah, my prediction for you is that you're gonna move to California, you're gonna become a dad, and you're gonna produce records. You're gonna ghostwrite. You're gonna work on music forever.
She'll transfer.
You're a real musician who like never gave up on being a musician and staying creative. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And you're still young, dude. You're fucking young, man.
Yeah. I feel young, except for
You look young too.
Thank you.
That's why
I'm working on it. I'm trying to get back into shape. Like I've always been really active, and the pandemic kind of like stunted me a little bit.
Were you ever like a vegan or vegetarian?
Never.
You always seem healthy, always in shape.
Just my decade of straight edge.
Well, thank you for being here. This is fucking awesome. And that's 2 hours. Wow, it's great, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
No, it's great. So coming up, they can find you on social media. There's a new I Am The Avalanche record being worked on, supposedly.
Avalanche. Me and Mikey are writing Avalanche shit. We got tours coming up. We haven't announced yet.
It's easier, yeah.
I'm doing a solo tour on October 26th for like a month. New solo records halfway done. Whenever Sammy calls me back, we'll probably do more Constant Elevation.
Grave Diggers.
I should take that back. It's not that Sammy's not calling me back, but he's nonstop. He's in 7 seconds now. It's insane.
Killing it in 7 seconds. I saw him perform. Incredible, dude.
I mean,
makes me so happy, dude.
Yeah.
And then you're playing when we were young too, next year.
Yeah, we got a bunch of fun shit coming up.
Man.
Book coming out.
Yes.
Late October, early November. Is probably realistic.
The He Creative one. Yeah. Epic Sleepover.
Yeah.
So cool.
A lot of cool shit.
I'm just like, we've known each other throughout the years, played shows, crossed paths, and then like sitting in my kitchen with you. I love like just hearing the story, like because we all think we know about each other until we really just talk to them. It's nice, and I mean face to face shit.
Yeah, I mean, our only hanging took place when I was 21, 22. So I'm a different person from then.
Totally, same me too. Yeah,
so,
I'm still a big kid, but whatever. Yeah.
And we were just young, like looking up to all these guys. Rusty telling us stories in the dressing room and shit. He told us crazy stories about him growing up and stuff.
Shot,
I remember
all kinds of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, Rusty had crazy stories.
I remember us all sitting around in a circle on the floor in a dressing room at Barrowlands in Glasgow. And him telling us about when he got shot.
Yes, one time I was hanging out with my friends.
That's you do a good Rusty.
Shout out to Rusty Pistachio.
He's awesome. It was great to see him too the other day.
Yeah, man, he's killing it too. Yeah. He's out there in South Carolina.
Yeah, so it's good to be here, man. Like,
thank you, bro.
I'm a listener of the podcast. I'm interested in most of the people that you're interviewing, and even if not, I get down with it. If I didn't know who they were. So
yeah, I love that about the pod. People think they might know somebody. And then they listen to us. Oh, I know that guy was like that. I just judged him from the one song or the music or whatever, and then meet the person.
Yeah, but you're getting good at this shit, dude.
Thank you, man.
I know I text you every once, or I'll DM you every once in a while, being like, I never heard Fat Mike say all that shit before.
That's one of my most proudest conversations with Fat Mike.
That
Sitting
was
sober in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Like I know the guy for 25 years, but did I really know him? Actually not, because he's like the most. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Even Josh Brolin. There's so many different people coming to my kitchen. It's just.
Yeah. It's
Chino
nuts,
too.
it's nuts to sit here where I know all that's gone on. Like,
but then after
I
this,
fucking grew up on the Goonies, man.
Yeah. Then after this, like now I feel like I'm closer to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like. Just in like 1 or 2 hours, you bond with these people that you may think you know something about, but you don't.
Yeah.
You feel a connection. That's why that's why I won't do Zoom. I stopped doing the phone call once. I had to do that during the pandemic. It's like in person. This is awesome, man.
It's better this way.
Yeah.
It's probably, you probably did a completely different outcome doing it like this.
Yes.
Than me pacing around my kitchen in Brooklyn.
Yeah, and the ones that I had from back then, I redid them in person. I just got to do it again, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're going to fly home soon. I appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you having me.
This was awesome.
It's good. This is the longest conversation we've ever had. So
I know.
Thanks
for all you've contributed to the world of music, man.
Thank you.
You've inspired a lot of people, man.
I appreciate that, man. Coming from you, that's a lot. So cheers,
thank
bro.
you. And now, Max, take a photo of us, okay, Max? Okay. Bye, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swipe the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details of anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo off in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance Podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. U.S., Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology. Cryo-technology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives.